Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
No.
Tonight, here on Danny B Talks, we have our usual panel here tonight. No one joining us, but we got some dirty news to talk about because we went dirt track racing in Bristol, Tennessee this weekend. I was in attendance. These guys, for whatever weird reason, said that they didn't think it would be cool, so they didn't want to go with me.
Whoa, it wasn't because it wasn't cool. It's just because if anything, it was going to be wet, just far away.
That's the risk we take as NASCAR fans, Eric. And you
hey, that's why I say NASCAR fans are the hardest working NASCAR fans. But sometimes I need a week off.
NASCAR fans
Or the hardest working fans in sports. You guys know what I mean. I'm distracted by a massive super chat right out the gate. So we'll have a wonderful start to begin the show.
Appreciate that, Stephen. We will look at those super chats at the top of the hour. But guys, let's break it down. Bristol Dirt. I had a video go viral this weekend, not on YouTube, but on Twitter and Facebook of the flooding at Bristol Motor Speedway on Sunday. And
you were on Sports Center, bro. Sports Center.
I always thought my Sports Center debut would involve water, but I thought it'd be like winning the Bassmaster Classic or something like that. But no, there it was.
Oh man, that was nuts. Like actually we saw your video. So like I was going out with my girlfriend that morning for breakfast and we saw your video on the TV in the diner we always go to. And I'm like, "Hey, that's Danny." I didn't get a chance to take a picture. I wish I could have. But I was like, "Man, that's awesome." But that was pretty badass. It sucked, but it was still pretty badass that you got it. So that was cool.
It's funny. You guys know where we stay at for the Bristol races, and it's like just right around the corner from the track. And so I told Claudia, I was like, I'm going to drive down there and just see what it looks like. And she was kind of like, that's silly. That's just going to be stupid. No one's going to care about that.
Yeah, even my roommate mentioned to me that I heard in Bristol, Tennessee, there was like some flood warning there, and like some people had actually drowned, unfortunately, and stuff. So I'm assuming it was like some the entire town of Bristol had some sort of flood issues, not just the racetrack.
It wasn't just the racetrack. It's pretty much everywhere in Tennessee. Even here, the lake is up to levels I've never seen it at here since living here. Pretty much every lake in Tennessee has flooding issues right now. And these lakes are all ran by dams, so it's like it tries to funnel out the water. Well, think of it like this: there's a lake up here, a lake up here, a lake up here, but they're all flooded. So they're like, "No, I can't take any more water. No, I can't take any more water." They're just all trying to get it to move out. So, unfortunately, we're gonna have this high water for a lot of weeks because they can only afford to move so much.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. But I mean, no, dude, just the overall racing, man, as a whole, I was thoroughly entertained throughout, and I was super surprised. I mean, just the reason being is because we were venturing into the unknown. And also like just the entire weekend was feeling like one giant L at first, just because everyone's spirits was just so down because of the whole delay. And then just the very beginning of how the weekend opened up was just funny as well. Like one lap in and then caution out, red flags out because there's so much mud on the windshields. They can't see it. So.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah, what was that like in person, man?
So they were going so slow. I made a comment and you'll see it whenever I release my blog from the weekend. Like they're going so slow, and then once they slow down, you realize, it's because they can't say anything.
They can't, man. And it was fun. And then it was fun because the mud was wet, and then it quickly dried up on there, and then you have to really work hard to get it off the windshield.
I was thoroughly entertained too at the way that they prepped the track because they had these old Crown Vics that they used to run it in, and then they actually got some guys who race local dirt late model races in the area to bring they had 4 late model drivers, and they would just go out and just run a few laps wide open. It's like, dang, these things are cool watching around Bristol.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I hope they got paid for that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I'm sure they did. They probably gave them tires and gas and some money, I'm sure.
Probably got paid better than they did racing in the actual race.
But man, go ahead.
Well, that was just the big problem all weekend was just mud everywhere, whether it was on the windshields, whether it was on the grills. I understand not doing this for the windshields, but for the front bumpers and the grills, I especially, you see what happens with Kyle Busch. You think they'd be better prepared? Anything could there have been any better way? Put some Crisco on the front or something. I don't care, but there's got to be some way to get the mud to not build up. And I think we commented in our chat together. It was the Hendrick guys got it figured out right away, whereas the Gibbs guys looked like they were And they were suffering. They were suffering. They were
really bad.
Yeah.
And
luckily, the mud issue seemed to go away as the race went on, because that's what had me worried at first, was when the leader of the race basically was punished for taking the lead because the track was a little too moist, and he'd had stuff packed on his grill in the wrong possible way. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a terrible look when you're a front running car that can only run 5 laps. But luckily, the track, I guess, dried up, or the conditions improved quickly, and that really, a lot of guys complaining about heating issues, but nobody ever quite reached that limit besides the race leader, Kyle Busch.
But really, this Bristol race had everything, it seemed. I mean, in the truck race, you had tempers flaring and stuff. I mean, and then also you even had the safety truck run into John Hunter Nemechek's truck too. That was as he was clapping at. I think it was Crafton that wrecked him. I think so.
It was Crafton that wrecked him, and then you had the whole issue of whatever happened with was that Kraus behind him that got spun out? Or
Kraus. So the deal with that is apparently after Nemechek had spun out, I guess Kraus's spotter didn't let him know. And he just had to miss him, I guess. I don't know how.
Kraus was still throwing slide jobs out as they came.
Yeah.
Stopped. I'm like, what is he doing? Does he not know? So it was his fault. He wrecked on what he was doing.
Yeah.
We want to talk about some spotters and decisions to throw a caution or not throw a caution in a truck race. Kyle Larson's wreck in the truck race was completely avoidable. I just got to say that, because we in the stands all saw that coming. Because was it Marlar? Is that who was in that truck?
Mike Marlar.
Mike Marlar, and
he came in handy later that day too, towards the end.
Yeah, but we all saw that he was running well off the pace a long time before the leader ever got to him. I seen someone made a comment like, "Oh, you don't want to just throw a caution for a slow car. I mean, spotters should tell him slow car a pie." Here's the thing about a dirt track. Up high is your fast lane. There ain't no place for a slow car to go in a dirt track.
Yeah. Well, you need the entire. My problem with it is, I like that NASCAR gave him the chance to get down, but after he didn't get down and he was going to have to go through the gauntlet all over again, that's where I'm like, okay, I think they should have thrown it then.
I don't know if it was seen on camera, but almost immediately before that one, there was another truck that was running off the pace, and they did do a good job of getting down to the bottom and staying out of the way. And
it wasn't Norm.
Yeah, Norm. Oh yeah, even on his radio, he was crying about it, give me get off my back or something. I'm
sticking by my driver, damn it.
Driver in the loosest of definitions.
He thought he was faster than he was, and at one point he did just straight up stop on a track for a caution. I did see that.
And Joseph did it too. They had 2 guys do it early in the race, which is why I think NASCAR was gun shy on throwing the caution. They didn't want to throw the caution for a guy running slow, especially if he was still running and at least pointed the right direction. Right. I think that's what it obviously bit them, but I know all day long the complaints were that they've been throwing too many cautions. So I think NASCAR, if anything, was peer pressured into not throwing the yellow, and that kind of ruined Larson's day. That being said, there needed to be better communication, because while the high line can be the fast line around most dirt tracks, it was never the fast line at Bristol. And so, Larson was the only guy making time up there. His spotter needed to be in his ear a lap beforehand. Hey, there's a guy going 20 miles an hour up there. So that's 100% on the spotter. There was even room when he went into that turn where he got wrecked. There was room to go low. He had a whole lane down there. There wasn't anybody to his inside. So, I'll put it on NASCAR for not being consistent. They weren't consistent in the Cup race with cautions. They left him out to drive for
poor guy.
But, spotters needed to, especially at that point in the race, it wasn't too dusty. Spotter should have been in his ear.
But congratulations to Martin Truex Jr., the 36th triple threat winner in NASCAR history, and that was his 3rd career Truck Series start too. So,
and they said he was the second oldest or the oldest since Waltrip.
He was the oldest since Waltrip.
Get his first truck win. Goodness.
Oh, Michael Waltrip. I was
Michael Waltrip. Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, I'm I remember Darryl doing truck races, but it didn't go well.
He never win. Yeah, he never won.
No, that was so odd to me, because I remember watching that night, and I never thought of that just because it was Mikey. But I was not expecting Martin Truex Jr. of all drivers, one of the drivers who basically echoed the sentiments of Kevin Harvick of saying, "I've never done this, I'm probably going to suck." And he comes out and he looked, even at the start of the Cup race, looked like it looked like he had this whole weekend
top
on
5
lock.
The whole Cup race until the last lap.
Yep.
Yeah. But man, that was, I ripped on the decision to put him on dirt all the way back in whenever the hell they released the schedule. And I'm glad I was proven wrong. I had fun with it. Like I said to you three before the show, I was like, this was my favorite race of the year. Like far and away my favorite one. Yeah, the Vegas race had its moments. Daytona Road Course was good before the entertainment caution, but man, this one for me, beginning, middle, and end was my favorite because one, you had everything changing. That's just a great part of a dirt track is that it's always going to change, especially between the basically the stage breaks. I mean, actual breaks. The track was constantly changing. The rules changed at one point, which we all got sent back to 2003.
That shocked me a little bit. I was actually
like the single file.
It worked, and that's what shocked me. I thought single file, what's that going to really change? They didn't wreck. So.
And they do that at dirt races already.
They were getting the word. They legitimately just could not do that without doing it. Like they were going to crash like crazy.
But congratulations to Daniel Suarez, driver of the day on Tuesday.
Yes. Shaney didn't win Monday. Stage. He almost had stage 2-1, but he was up there all day long.
Hey, Trackhouse Racing, they came into the season, basically Trackhouse Racing and 2311 are pretty much going to be linked because not only did they come into the sport in the same season, they have two celebrity owners in Michael Jordan and Pitbull, so they're going to get a ton of attention. But the difference is, from celebrity owners in the past, they're not just there just to be there and say, hey, I own my own NASCAR team. They want to win. And early on too, just the RCR alliance with Trackhouse seems to be paying dividends compared to the 2311 alliance with JGR at the moment. First top 5 and 7 races in, first top 5. Sure, Suarez is only 20th in the standings and Bubba at the moment is 28th, but I'm really curious to see how those two can really improve by the time we get to the halfway point.
I want to see more out of them, and it is fair to point out, hey, most of the people we saw running up at the top, aside from like Kevin Harvick, most of them did run in the truck race beforehand. Like Suarez and Bubba were both in that. And Bubba, although he had his issues at the end, he was staying in the top 10 pretty much the whole day.
Was Suarez in it? Who was he driving for? I didn't see.
He drove the Young's Motorsports truck, but he never was higher than like 15th on the leaderboard.
He was like either the 02 or the 20, something like that.
I think he was in the 02.
Bubba's 21st in the standings, I guess. So okay, he's right there. He's right there with him.
They're right on top of each other. But I will say I'm obviously really impressed with Trackhouse this year. If we're just broadly speaking about their start to the season versus 2311, all the eyes are on 2311. I think Trackhouse feels like they don't have any pressure and they're just going out and succeeding. Especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've been faster than the RCR
and you know what? And you know what? There's the difference right there. They didn't put any pressure on themselves in the offseason. Like, hey, we're just getting started. 2311 did the whole opposite there. And it's a perception thing now,
It's more, if you look at the eye test so far, because I know, they're kind of right on top of each other in points, but if you look at the eye test of what team has actually been looking better, it's been Trackhouse without a doubt. Yeah. 2311 has had its moments. The last two, I think the last 2 races.
They've been in the top 10. Yeah. So 3 weeks in a row. Yeah.
But overall, Trackhouse has looked like a better formed team all the way around. You can tell that 2311 was basically put together a month before Daytona with getting cars and stuff. You can tell.
Now, here's a funny line I didn't think we would ever say at the beginning of the season. Both of those teams seem to be in a better place than Stewart-Haas Racing at the moment. What is... Oh, dude. So Eric Almirola wrecks, and then the 14 and the 4 get together at the...
that was just bad luck.
I'm like, they have no luck at the moment. But that 10 team, that 10 has to be the most disappointing so far. We are almost a quarter into the 2021 season, and that 10 seems to be the most disappointing car at the moment.
I actually think he is 28th in points. So I think he is the one who's 28th. So he's, they're in desperation mode already. They're not pointing their way into the playoffs at this. I don't think they are. I think it's win or bust.
Danica, is that you?
That's what it reminds me of.
27th in points.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Eric.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, at least Bristol, or this Bristol one, I'm not sure it was all Eric's fault. Friesen maybe choked him down a little bit there, but Almirola's made some mistakes. Miami, I remember a failed slide job, wrecked himself, so he has not been at his game.
But the only advantage I think Almirola has is it's either get rid of him and put Riley Herbst in there, or
Stewart-Haas is screwed. No, Stewart-Haas has nobody in the pipeline.
He wishes I miss
desperately
Larson.
Hoping Haley Deegan.
I miss Larson. Where's Larson?
I'll be real for Deegan.
Yeah, and I'll be real about Deegan. And I think
she sucked.
All of us here. Yeah,
she was a no-show.
Bad.
Yeah, that was disappointing. I understand this is only her 5th truck race ever, but I thought she'd run top 10.
No,
if she wrecked at some point, if she had wrecked halfway through and finished 25th, I'd be as long as she was running 7th or 8th. She ran 18th all race long.
Yeah, and we commented amongst each other that we're during practice. We're like, wow, she looks like she has a lot of confidence for this weekend. Yeah, if confidence is leading to an 18th place finish, that is not a recipe for I'm going to make it to Cup.
I recently saw
been a few races, but.
I recently saw something where it was it's her equipment. No, it's not. That's not. No way.
Equipment that Tyler Ankrum won in a few years ago. It's not the equipment.
Yeah, come on. Let's not use that argument.
It's not the best truck, but it's a truck that can and often would run top 10. Now, at Bristol Dirt, the great equalizer, there was no excuse for her to not run top 10 or top 15. I was surprised. Maybe it was really that difficult to handle. I was listening to her radio throughout the race because I was really curious. I had high expectations this weekend, and at one point towards the end, she was losing spot. She just came on the radio saying, I don't know where to run this place. So clearly they didn't figure it out as the day went on.
That's not confident at all.
If anything. So, Deegan's not a bust or anything like that. Again, 5, 6 truck
races. It's too soon. Yeah.
This is the first race this season where I had expectations that she did not meet. And so I feel like it's worth pointing out. Anyway, SHR is screwed is what we're really talking about. They have no future at the moment.
It's they either keep Almirola, Riley Herbst, or they see if they still have Danica Patrick's number. I don't know.
Oh, agency. You have really nobody in the pipeline, outside of, the Ford camp and stuff. You'd have
Briscoe's
to go outside.
Still got room to grow, so maybe Briscoe will emerge, but,
again, we're only 7 races in, but
I'm giving Briscoe a pass because he's a rookie. I'm keeping Custer on a tight leash, but Almirola, he better step it up.
He's the first one gone at this rate.
Just who would have thought that the Stewart-Haas Racing drop-off would be so bad? I didn't expect this drop-off to be bad,
even then, Harvick is still good, but
it's not as good as it used to be compared to last year.
Ever since
I pulled up the points here.
Last year, he's gone down.
Yeah.
Now I have Jayski's points. It does not differ on winners versus.
It's just straight up
points. Kevin Harvick is currently in 8th position in points, and he's behind guys like William Byron and Ryan Blaney. Wow. I'm just scrolling here, man. I'm scrolling.
Well, God.
I'll put it like this. Jesus Christ.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
He's 8th in points.
Listen
That's
to this.
terrible.
No. Listen to this. Michael McDowell is closer to Kevin Harvick in points than all 3 of the other SHR cars.
Oh.
And I'm not talking just in points, position.
Hey, that's Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell.
No, listen here. Listen.
He does have way more top 10s. I already know
He does.
No. Harvick is 42 points above McDowell. Do you want to throw out a wild guess how many points Cole Custer, who is 23rd in points and is the second highest SHR car, how many points behind Michael McDowell is Cole Custer? Just throw out a wild guess.
69.
I'm sure it's a triple digit, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
Not that bad yet.
69. Yeah, 69 points.
All right, let me do a little mental math here. Holy Jesus, 65.
Oh, it's close.
He is more than a full race ahead of them. And then you look down in the points. Chase Briscoe is 27th, and Eric Almirola is 28th. And then if you, man.
Oh, that's so bad. It made me gag.
If you look at the current cut line, Chase Briscoe is closer to Quinn. Closer to Quinn Half in points than the cut line.
Got a dying seagull in the
The only other person that I can think of that's still in the Ford camp that they could bring in is not an improvement. It's Matt Benedetto. That's the only other person I can think of.
That could be an improvement.
It's a lateral at worst.
At least he brings his biceps. Well, that's got to be worth.
And his dirt.
At least $20 in social media value.
I mean, the only other guy I would think of outside of SHR in a Ford is Austin Cindric, but he's going to Penske. That's already a done deal, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
you could fish free agency. But because there's tons of people, I'm assuming. I'm just, I've been trusting J-Ski the past few days. I'm going to trust him more. I'm going to look up right now on J-Ski.
The contracts?
The 2021 driver whatever chart.
Nice. Because they have the contracts listed.
I mean, there's a lot. Keselowski sounds like he's probably going to stay with Penske. And at this rate, I wouldn't want to jump over to SHR from Penske. No, I wouldn't take that risk.
No way.
So I don't know who else it could be.
Let's see here. Well, I don't think they're desperate enough to get Quinn.
If Bowman loses his Hendrick ride, does SHR pick Alex Bowman up?
I don't think he's gonna though, because I think Ally would be.
He probably won't, but he could. I wouldn't rule it out.
Ally seems to be pretty well behind him. They did a good job with merch, I'll tell you that. So.
Yeah, that's nice.
They aired that really cool cinematic ad.
Ryan Newman ain't happening because if there's one thing, and we'll talk about it later, Tony Stewart's good at is burning bridges.
Yeah. Never again.
Tyler Reddick is the 2021 question mark right now.
It was interesting in the truck race. Newman he didn't run the truck race, but during practice, they had the little 39 next to his name, and it was in like the SHR font. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Chris Buescher is another that's a question mark in the Ford camp for 2021 and beyond. Christopher Bell apparently is only signed for a year.
Oh,
I don't think for this year.
I'm sure. They're not going to let him go. Yeah, they're going to re-sign him. No way.
I mean, he won right off the bat. I think
he beat Chase Elliott at his own game.
Yeah.
Matt DiBenedetto, we already listed off. I think that Michael McDowell is going to stay put. So that's off the table in my opinion. Eric Jones is through 2022. Ricky Stenhouse is through this year.
I would try and get Eric Jones. Eric Jones would be that would be a perfect one.
Stenhouse still hasn't finished outside the top 18 and is coming off a runner-up. I wouldn't leave JTG. They're on the up and up at this point.
There's no one aside from like DiBenedetto and that's about it that I could really see jumping over. Maybe Stenhouse.
I think they just got to hope that Custer and Briscoe develop, and they might. They very well might. We're definitely not ruling out Briscoe yet, but they certainly have not impressed. Custer in his first year plus, he got that win, but other than that, he has not impressed so far. So I'd be a little worried.
Stenhouse would be okay to get back into the Ford camp, so that would happen.
I because I see people saying Brad Keselowski. I don't see it happening. I don't see Brad Keselowski.
I don't see that.
I don't think that Brad would fit the SHR mold, I guess.
I mean, he's been with Penske for years, and I mean, they're off to a freaking fantastic start. So why would he leave? There's no way.
I could look at the Xfinity team chart if you want and see if there's anyone in there.
And I know some people would say Gragson probably listen, I mean, Gragson's cool and all, but he's not ready, and he would not go to the Ford camp.
So let's be real. Gregson Gregson and Tony Stewart, I feel like would either explode horribly or gel perfectly.
Yeah, there's no in between. I don't want to like that match.
I didn't even consider that. He wants to get the cup. That might honestly open up something for him.
Maybe.
I'm scrolling through. I don't see anyone they'd take the shot on, especially I was thinking maybe the colleague guys, but they're talking about going to cup in the next few years. So I don't see them getting rid of them.
There's a lot of people that want those charters. Shut the 10 team down and sell your charter. Make some quick cash. Yeah. Especially if Smithfield backs out.
Maybe an option is making it
that's where 2311 gets their second charter.
Maybe an option is doing what JR Motorsports is doing with the 8 car and just making it whoever you can fit in goes.
Yeah, maybe just make it into a part-time ride.
Go for the Owners' Championship.
I just don't know if that makes sense for Cup, though.
I think there's financial incentive isn't there.
You can still get the Owners' Championship, like Jarrett was about to say.
Yeah, and that could help your team when you do get a full-time driver. That's a last resort kind of thing. I mean, they could stick with Eric Jones. He has sponsorship.
Heck, maybe Tony could come back and run a few races. I don't
know. But I would love to see Eric Jones get a second chance with a big team like Stewart-Haas. I think that would be a perfect situation. I mean, he's doing well in the 43 this year. And he's a former winner. Yeah.
Jones
top 10 this week.
Jones is signed through 2022.
Oh, well. Contracts can't be broken.
2022 free agency, in my opinion, is going to be nuts after you see their first outing in the next gen car. I feel like that's going to shuffle some stuff. I I could read off the points really quick, like who's good, who's not.
Go ahead. The notables for sure.
By the way, guys, 7 different winners in the first 7 races. First time again since 2014.
There is
Still continuing that.
9 playoff spots left, and we are 7 out of 26
perfect.
races in.
Perfect.
Yeah, that to me, I was surprised by that. I think Martinsville is definitely good for offering a wild card. Martinsville, Richmond. I mean, Kyle Busch has got to win one of these, man.
Yeah.
You said that all last year, and it took a Wednesday night in Texas.
And also Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's got to win at some point because Jarrett was telling me the other night he's having such a fantastic season.
So, yeah, I do the Winston Cup points format. And again, it's for fun. Don't take it seriously. Jesus, I don't know why people... I take it
seriously. They would have raced differently.
Hey, the way I see it is like, man, if people want to have fun with it, have fun with it. That's your prerogative. Don't ruin the fun for others. You know, no one's hurting each other here. But anyway, I was commenting that his start to me is almost identical to Jeff Gordon's in 2007.
Really good.
It's because Gordon didn't get a win until I believe Phoenix, which was about race 7 or 8, which lines up perfectly with one of Denny's best tracks coming up. Predictions coming next week, probably. Yep. But man, that's just... It surprised me. I think I still don't think we're going to hit 16. I think we'll get close. I mean, 2014 was the last time this happened, and I believe we hit 14 winners.
We were close. We were really close. We only had 2 more spots left available on points.
Denny Hamlin's stats create 6 top 5s in the first 7 races, an average finish of 4.7.
But here's the sad part about it, though, is because we're in this playoff era. So unfortunately, seasons like that usually won't get their due because usually, the best doesn't have the championship.
I want to point something out. It was brought up on Twitter. I can't remember who did it. Whoever it was, thank you for putting it out there. But I believe since 2017, since the stage points and playoff points have been introduced, the top 4 at the 7 race mark every year has had one of those 4 drivers win the championship. And right now that is of the points, not of like wins and stuff. Yes, I did compare Gordon to Hamlin. Suck it. We're going back to season 2 style here. Not season 1 yet. I ain't cussing. But Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Larson are currently the top 4.
Oh, absolutely. One of them's going to win the championship this year.
That's what I'm thinking.
I believe it.
I hope it's Larson just so that I can watch the world burn.
My pick would be Larson of those 4 as well.
Yeah,
he might have had the best.
It'd be Larson. Yeah,
he had the best run going at Bristol, last to 5th in like 40 laps, if not for that wreck. So,
yes, overall a mile and a half, they seem to have the best program. So,
bar none.
So I want to say, right now, I mean, the people in the top 16. You got your winners. You got the guys like Hamlin up there, Keselowski. But you look at the cut line. Kevin Harvick is 57 above right now, above the cut line. Then you got Chase Elliott. He is 43 above. I'm doing mental math really quick right now, so if I'm a little off,
live in front of 300 people.
But after that, though, it gets really close. Like Austin Dillon is not 14. He is 18 points above 17th right now. If you look under him, Kyle Busch is only 15 points above.
Austin Dillon greater than Kyle Busch.
if you look under him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 12 above right now. Kurt Busch is 5 above. Bowman's only 4, and that's where you hit the cut line right there.
Look at Ricky. I'm about to go buy a Ricky Stenhouse.
Let's go, Ricky. Comeback story.
Redemption, yeah.
And you keep looking down there, and you got some of the guys underneath the cut line right now. Chris Buescher, of course, he's only 4 back.
But then he's right there.
You go 18 back to Ryan Preece, which
he's right there. He doesn't even have a charter, and he's right there.
He's there.
He's got to win, man. That's the thing. I know,
but he's right there.
Ryan Newman's 5 points behind Preece. Suarez 20th. Bubba 21st. I'll scroll down. We talked about the SHR guys. Benedetto 24th. Tyler Reddick 25th.
Ross Reddick, sophomore slump, man, for Tyler Reddick.
Ross 6th.
Yeah, still better than Kenseth last year.
He's still above 2 of the SHR cars.
That's pretty good.
And then you got Corey LaJoie and Anthony Alfredo rounding out the top 30.
We didn't have any expectations for Alfredo. I will say, our boy Corey LaJoie has been a disappointment, and I don't think it's been him. It's mostly been car failures. But that team, I at least thought they'd run 20th occasionally. No, they're running the same as Go Fast did. That car doesn't look any better than Go Fast.
Is it just me, or is Anthony Alfredo like wrecking every week now, or is?
Well, he's not
gets
really
involved.
He just gets involved. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he wrecks, but like
be in the Cup Series. Like, let's be honest, he's like 20 with about 4 Xfinity races under his belt, or whatever, 14, whatever he ran last year. It's kind of absurd that he got that Cup ride, and that's why I said we didn't have any expectations for him.
Gosh, this is funny.
What?
And this is no disrespect to Josh Bilicki, but Josh Bilicki had in starting every race this year has the same amount of points as Jamie McMurray in one race.
Oh,
hey, little Jamie had a top 10.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
that's more than almost all of SHR can say at this point.
Well, yeah.
And then you got, you know what? The man with the least amount of points right now. This dude's going to come back and win the championship. Derek Cope.
Derek Cope.
Oh yeah. Derek
Cope's going to win it, man. But yeah, dude, it's going to get really interesting because I don't see of the group of normal winners, I don't see Denny Hamlin going winless. Like I said, he reminds me of a 2007, 2014.
Like this season, like the way, like the start he's had, there's no way he doesn't at least get one win.
Well, I want to say, and I don't want to, because I know we need to talk, but we're going to talk about this in a minute. We haven't even talked about the winner, but I will say Hamlin, the end of this race on Sunday, to me, was a perfect little case study as to perhaps why Hamlin has not won a championship, 16 years into his Cup Series career. He's won, 45 races, a couple runner-ups in the points, several championship 4 appearances, no championships. I don't know how this guy got teamed up with Michael Jordan, Mr. Killer Instinct, because Killer Instinct is the farthest thing that Denny Hamlin
He took the high line. And I'm like, what? So I thought he was going to send him to the moon. That's what should have happened.
I'm kind of hot about this. Again, we're changing the subject. I'm sorry.
Go for it, man.
I was watching Radioactive before I jumped in this Zoom call earlier, and it just blew my mind even more, because in the moment when I was watching the race and they played the audio, they played Hamlin talking about, I shouldn't have cut Logano those brakes. He was cutting me off. And then they played the Chris Gabehart on the radio. Hey, you know who that is in front of you? You better do what you got to do to win. Basically saying, wink, wink, we expect you to knock Logano out of the way. It's Bristol, baby. He deserves it. And Hamlin, roger that. All talk, no game whatsoever. Dude takes the high line, gives Logano just an easy, clean run to the finish. Denny Hamlin's really, really good, but the man is all talk and absolutely no action. I think that was a perfect example of why he has never won a championship, because I don't understand it. We all know that if roles were reversed, Joey Logano proved it in 2018 at Martinsville. Remember that?
He would have sent him. Yeah.
Restart with 15 to go. Truex leading, Logano leading, Truex in second. He gets to his outside, side by side for 10 laps. Clean. Truex finally completes the pass with 1 lap to go. Very next corner, Logano knocks him out of the way and drag races him to the line. So we all know Joey Logano, he doesn't care how you race him. He's going to knock you out of the way for the win. Hamlin should have known that, but didn't have the stones to actually go out and do it. Was he afraid he was going to get booed? Was he afraid that the Bristol car was going to boo him for bumping Joey Logano out of the way? Hell no.
The Kyle Busch fan on the flag stand wouldn't have booed him.
Is he afraid of confrontation? Because I can tell you, Joey Logano is probably the least intimidating person in the Cup Series garage. So I don't understand what's going on in Hamlin's head. I don't understand it.
The whole time, what Jarrett just said, I was just thinking, is this where we're going to see the culmination of track racing?
It was such a letdown.
Eric, it's perfect what you said. Okay, you asked the question, would Logano do it? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Would Kyle Busch do it?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Would Kevin Harvick do it?
Yes.
Probably.
I would even ask, and I think he would. Would Jimmy Johnson do it if it was that position? That's what he had to do.
Roval 2018
last 3 years.
Jeff Gordon.
Jimmy Johnson would have wrecked himself doing it these last 3 years.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's done it before.
I'll go this far, man. Would Dale Jr. do it? I think he would.
Oh, he would. Yeah.
He would do it. Okay, let's see. Let's keep asking questions here.
My guy Matt Kenseth probably wouldn't have done it, and that's why he only won one championship. I don't know. Well, Joey Logano.
No,
you're right. Joey Logano. If you just put any other random, no, you're right. Joey Logano.
He'd do it with his middle finger out the window.
Matt, you would have definitely done it.
We know for a fact from last year's spring race at Bristol that Chase Elliott would do it, because he did do it too, Joey Logano.
Exactly. So why didn't Hamlin do it? Because he's a fraud. He's a fraud. No,
I won't go that far. I won't go that far, but it's true. I mean, Eric, what you're saying is true. If you look at drivers throughout NASCAR's history who have competed for championships on a regular basis and never won them. I mean, the first one you got to look at is Mark Martin. Wouldn't Mark Martin do that?
He's a polite dude.
No, he would never do it.
He might do it to Logano.
No. Do you remember what he said about Logano? He said that there was one person he would never do it to, and he was surprised when he did do it to him. But I don't think he would do it to him.
Yeah, I don't think
he betrayed him. See, even Logano betrayed him, his mentor, basically.
Nice guys finish last. It's true even in NASCAR.
And in my opinion, what this also proves, and in some ways I'm kind of a little sad about this, but it is true with changing drivers. Hamlin is starting to kind of get left behind in that regard. This happened with Jeff Gordon. It happened with Dale Jr., happened with Jimmy Johnson, where the driving style of the past just does not work with modern NASCAR. You can't play nice and expect to have it later, because I guarantee you this September at Bristol, if Denny Hamlin is in the lead and Joey Logano comes up to him, he would send that man into the catch fence for a win.
Yep. Yeah,
he wouldn't think anything of it. He'd just say it's short track racing.
The whole era of like racing etiquette and like, hey, we're racing for points here,
it's
like
gone.
Chill out. Like, yeah, those days are long gone with the addition of this like playoff format since 2014. So like, and that's what NASCAR wants. They want stuff like this.
And with stage racing too, yeah.
And stage racing,
when
yeah.
it's win and you're in, that's the way you're supposed to.
Yeah,
like that, so.
I mean, I'll be honest though. I mean, the older fan in me does miss those days where it's like, hey, just the pure racing. Have a good points day. You don't have to go
the bigger
for it all
picture.
out. Yeah, exactly. But like now, this, the whole point system, like you can't do that anymore. You have to do this thing. So
and
he's
also,
159 points up. There is no reason to be points racing at this point. He is literally almost 3 races ahead of the cut line. Even if the cut line changes with 5 different drivers underneath winning, he is still 2.5 races worth of points. If he didn't start ahead, he wouldn't, he could miss 3 races and he'd still be in the playoffs. There's no reason to points race at all. Do you know how many points he would have to give up per race? And granted, it's not going to be too big, but at this point in the season, he would have to give up about 8 to 9 points to Chris Buescher per race.
Doing a lot of mental math today, Jerry.
Yeah, dude, good job. Good job, buddy.
Well, let me check really quick. 159 divided by 19.
Carry the one. You always got to carry the
159 divided by 19. Hey, how about that? Almost
Nice.
8.5.
Wow,
Okay,
nice.
so yeah, he'd have to give up 8 to 9 points to Chris Buescher of all people.
Hey, that man won a stage.
You want to stage this
Yeah, well,
year.
every race isn't at Homestead.
hey. In fact, no races are at home.
We thought Roush Racing was back for a day. Yeah, I remember that.
There's
We thought-
no reason for him to do this to Joey Logano. Are you kidding me? This man would get a damn medal from half the garage if he did this to Joey Logano.
Yeah.
I get. Go ahead.
You cannot use the excuse either that, I want to take care of my car. These teams were never going to need that car again. There's never going to be a reason. Even next year when we go back to Dirt Bristol, there's a new car. They were never going to need that car
Well,
again.
maybe. I heard some stuff in the media center. I guess there might be mulling over.
They might use the Gen 6 for Bristol Dirt next year. That's a possibility. Still, but still, you got a year to repair it. You're right, Danny. You're right. But no, I just what made him think the high line was going to work? I understand.
There was no proof outside of a few restarts that the high line would work on restarts.
But he went to the high line.
I know, the Larson line. I was
he
like,
was
why
at the hot dog stand up there.
Yeah.
He was getting wet teddy bears. Bless you. No, man, but it's it just infuriates me because it's you can see. I mean, everyone knew that was what you had to do to win. Everyone knew that. The next closest guy to challenge Logano was Stewart-Haas restarting in 4th.
He lost a spot by going high. He let Stewart-Haas finish second.
Yeah, Stewart-Haas did finish second. Yeah.
But,
my God.
Hey, I do gotta say this. I don't mind where Logano and Hamlin finished because I put bets that they would get a top 3. I won $45 thanks to those guys, so I'll take it.
Woohoo!
Listen, I don't want to turn this into we're not. At least I don't think we are doing it just to hate Hamlin.
I'm glad Hamlin didn't win. I wasn't rooting for Hamlin to win, but I'm just
it'd be beneficial for me if Hamlin won.
I just
for
wanted
different
to.
reasons.
I'm just shocked. I'm just trying to get inside his mind because that narrative of Hamlin not living up in the big moments has always been true. But I'm always like,
it keeps
why?
coming up.
But why? And now this was an example of maybe that's why. Maybe it really is something.
I'm going to take the Larson line with 2 to go at Bristol Dirt.
He thinks a little bit different in the big moments and is worried to do So I'm not dissing on Hamlin. I'm just objectively trying to be This is why Hamlin hasn't won a championship.
I think he played himself mentally. I think that's what happened. He definitely did some mental gymnastics on that restart.
Yourself.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for Denny Delivers in the chat this whole time.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, but it's the truth.
We all go through it. Remember when we had ACS on and it turned into like, man,
he was mad. He was mad that
I don't
day.
blame him either. I don't blame. I don't blame people for being mad about that. But if I'm sitting at home and that's Dale Jr. in that position, and Jr. decides to play nice, I'm mad at Dale Jr. Because that is not Greg Ives' fault or Steve Letart's fault. That ain't his crew's fault. He wasn't Hamlin was in position to win, and he didn't close it out. I mean, that's how it. And the thing is, when he went into the presser after the race, he's sitting there like, I'm not that type of driver. I'm not that type of driver. I decided to take a higher road than that. You took a higher road straight behind him.
Why does this almost feel like it was just an excuse because he messed up?
You messed up, yeah. I think he messed up. He probably messed up, and he's like, not.
He tweeted at like midnight or whatever. Can we run it back? Basically, like I wish I had a second.
No, too late. You have no shots. You idiot. You didn't come in clutch.
You moron.
Full. Can we run it back?
It's like at Joe Logano, meet me on iRacing now.
Hey, come on, man. You should have. You had your chance. You had your chance, and you blew it. You blew it.
Well, Joey Logano did win. We haven't really talked about that. Congrats to Joey. 7th different winner, 7 races.
Did you guys see his video he made?
With the sword. He's a lefty. I knew I didn't like him for a reason. He was swinging that thing around with his cursed.
I have never seen Logano win in person, so that was take that back. One time.
You lucky son of a gun.
A nationwide race back when he was still in a 20 car, but that's been forever ago. I forgot about that one. But yeah, that was the first time I've seen him win since that. So that's something I've never seen before, and it's the first ever Joey Logano 124 scale diecast I've ever pre-ordered, just because I was gonna get both the cars that was made from that.
Did you see what they're selling on online? They're selling like Chase Elliott's 10th place dirt car, and it's gonna outsell Logano. That's the funniest damn thing I've ever heard.
Dude, they have no shame. They're like, hey, we're just going to milk it. We're going to milk it.
But it's not even like, they're not even selling it from Lionel. It's only available for the Chase Elliott store.
I guess they really wanted to show off his diecast, I guess.
Bless you. They'll just throw some damn dirt on it and call it a day.
By the way, if you hear these guys say bless you, I keep muting my own microphone when I sneeze, so you guys are not hearing that.
I think you're a little slow on the mute because I've heard. The stream.
The stream. The chat does not hear it. You guys do. So
really quick. We just hit 400 people watching, only 107 likes. Make sure to click the like button, everybody.
But yeah, I mean, Logano did what he had to do, and that's why he's a champion.
Yep, and that's why Hamlin is not a champion. No, I don't want to laugh. Poor guy, poor Hamlin fans.
Poor Denny Delivers.
Jarrett, we're Dale Jr. fans.
Yeah, I know. He didn't do it. I know nobody. Yeah, basically.
But I guess one thing we can talk about is this is your very early 2022 Bristol Dirt preview. No kidding. They're coming back next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Danny, what was that like in person? Because I know at home I thought it was faked. I really thought it was faked.
No, I did not. I was really surprised because the whole weekend I kept saying I will be surprised if this comes back because it was just awful with the rain, the mud issue, just everything seemed like it was going wrong. So I was surprised when they made the announcement during the race. I thought if they were going to announce that like maybe the following week or something like that, not during the race.
That was brilliant in my opinion because
that was good marketing. Yeah,
I can tell you, I immediately jumped on my phone and ordered like tickets. I was right away, and I was stuck in a line of like a good 500 people. It's like we have a backlog. You are guest number 500. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
what? Like, damn.
Wow. Man, that's smart as hell. I guess and we'll talk about what Marcus Smith talked about later, but I guess he said something like 25 or 30% of people already renewed their tickets for next year.
That's pretty good.
I gotta see this in person.
We will probably go back.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go next time.
I'd go next year. Second year's the charm.
But I will say, there were people who quit their jobs because they were not going to miss that race. Like
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them.
They were not going to miss it, and I worked ahead on Sunday since there was nothing to do, and got my work done for Monday. So I was able to take off on Monday and stay for it.
That was like the most packed race on a Monday since, I want to say, 2014 that was Texas springtime, maybe.
Okay. So I want to talk about this as far as like what the crowd felt like and everything. This was the most. I kept saying this about almost every race I've been to, but I really meant about this one. This was the most normal race weekend I have been to since the pandemic began, and I wore my mask, but I got to say it. Probably 75% of people were not wearing masks around the facility.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for NASCAR. I could say from TV,
rural Tennessee.
they claimed like they sold 36,000 tickets on the weekend, and I'm like,
it was like
bull.
Well, here's what's happened. They said if you had a truck ticket or a cup ticket, you could come in to see both.
Oh.
So
yeah, that's right.
People who just had a truck ticket or just had a cup ticket, you took that 30% capacity and you just made it like 50%, honestly.
Yeah.
I just saw in the chat Dirt Sonoma.
Dirt Sonoma.
That's Sonoma in the summer.
Just go off the track and you're there.
Yeah.
No, man, but that looked more full than any spring race I've seen since.
Put it like this: COVID or no COVID, that was the biggest crowd I've ever seen for a truck race at Bristol.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I remember back in the early 2000s when the Truck Series at Bristol would look like sold out. It was packed. It was packed back in those days.
That was like an Xfinity Series crowd for the Truck Series.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was packed for practice.
Now, as far as the history, as far as the future of Spring Bristol, I mean, if they're going to do this again, they honestly have to move it to like May or something, because I mean, the stat line I tweeted out over the weekend was true. I mean, 5 out of the last 8 spring dates now at Bristol have been affected by rain.
At least try to do a different day. That's my thing. Because it's like, I mean, technically based on trends, May has a little more rain than March. I will give people that, to people who are ripping on switching the dates. The deal is
they have rain, but March usually presents the better risk of like torrential long downpours that flood everything. Where May and June, it's just like a quick heat storm, more or less.
Okay.
We had one of those in 2019 when we went to Bristol overnight, I think, at one point.
We did.
If you want, though, I could read those ratings off, because it was actually not bad.
The ratings were so good.
You jumped on early. The poll's coming up in a bit. He said the ratings. Well, we got a 1.8 rating for the Cup Series race, which was 3.114 million viewers. And based on all people who are more experts on TV ratings and who work around it, have basically said that's really good.
That's actually so.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, in the last 7 years, that's the second best Monday rating outside of Daytona 500s, behind only the Noose race last year at Talladega that had all the media play overnight before that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, but for it being a time period where a lot of people are, still working, I'll take that.
That's a good rating. Yeah, that's awesome.
It did help they kept it on Fox, as opposed to many Monday races end up going to FS1.
And thank the Lord this truck race was not on FS2. What a tragedy it would have been to have this amazing race on freaking FS2. Oh.
You're the only one here that has FS2, Darian.
And it's poor quality too, by the way. It's poor quality.
Oh, you do, Jared?
Oh, yeah, and Jared has it too.
I haven't watched FS2 since 2015.
If you're like me and use the Fox Sports app, you can just get everything on Fox. So
like the only things that are shown on FS2 are usually like just FS1 shows, a lot of Red Bull content.
Is FS2 not in HD?
No, it's not for me. It's horrible quality. It's terrible.
In 2021?
I know.
No wonder TV's dying. Good Lord.
I want to ask this straight up. If NASCAR is taken out of the equation, do you actually sit there I want to watch something on TV anymore? NASCAR taken out of the equation. If it's just normal
other
TV.
sports.
I'm watching YouTube or Disney Plus or Netflix. That's it.
So I'm usually on YouTube and Netflix most of the time, but yeah, whenever I am on TV, it's like, just to watch South Park, American Dad, or like sometimes I'll turn on ESPN, FS1 for sports stuff on there just to pass the time. But yeah, nothing to like, nothing to the extent of, I really want to watch something on TV. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, only sports for me.
For me,
only sports.
Be The Walking Dead. I'd be like, man, I got to watch The Walking Dead every week. But like the last 5 years watching that has been like trying to gouge your eyes out.
Do they still make new episodes?
Dude, it's awful. I watch out of habit, and at this point, I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm gonna just get myself a 6-pack and just drink every time I roll my eyes. I'll be wasted.
Is there even any of the original characters left?
Carol, Daryl.
That's it. Carol and Daryl.
Meryl.
I mean, if you want to think in technicalities, Judith was there from pretty close to the beginning. Yeah. We saw her introduction into the show with Shane and Lori. But no, it's awful. I don't.
All right, we are not the Zombie Weekly Podcast.
Yeah, this isn't the Walking Dead podcast. Basically, the point
The Walking Dead died when Dale died.
The whole point is that TV sucks. The internet is where it's at.
Wait, there was actually a character named Dale too, wasn't there?
Yeah,
he died in the second season.
It goes perfectly with the whole NASCAR thing. It actually never died.
Dale died.
It's like, no, it didn't.
But anyway.
All right.
Anyway. Really quick, I guess I can run down the pick points before we go to
Yes.
We're not making any picks today, right? Because I didn't do any research.
I want to say this as like a little preview for that one. Someone, I don't know if I'm going to go with him or not, but someone just keep an eye out that I think is going to do well. We were talking about Trackhouse versus 2311. I wouldn't be surprised if Bubba has a really good performance at there because, obviously he's won there before in a truck series and with a good truck. He honestly did really good in the Black Lives Matter car there last year. And Joe Gibbs Racing, that whole sector of Toyota has done really well there the last few years. I wouldn't be surprised, especially having Denny Hamlin to provide notes too. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good weekend there. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, he really doesn't have a choice at this point. I mean, Trackhouse just scored their first ever top 5 in their 7th race. We're about how are they gonna react to this? So Bubba he has no choice but to run good this weekend or next weekend, excuse me.
Yeah. So running through the points here, chat. You and I are still tied for the lead. I don't know how because our picks were awful.
Who's P3?
Yeah,
Who's
Danny
P3?
now is.
Oh, take it. No, I'm not. Take it.
I rose up a lot. How many am I back now?
3.
How much
Danny's,
am I back?
3
you're
for
fourth.
3 for Dale, baby.
You're fourth -9, and then Eric and the guests are tied -15. Get a net loss. Net loss, man.
Who? Two of us picked Larson. I know me, and I think you, Jarrett, picked Bell. So
I picked Larson. I picked Bell.
Me and the chat picked Larson.
So
Bell went out.
He had to ran out of talent. Yeah, took Larson out.
Me going with Reddick made a big deal for me.
That was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, it was a perfect deal there.
This thing's been blown back wide open. Everyone is close again. So next week you'll be able to find out where the picks go because let's be real, I don't need this for the rest of the night.
Hey, they're celebrating in the chat too. They're really happy. Yeah, I see some people. They're really happy.
Haven't you seen Tortoise in the Hair celebrating too early?
Yeah, I know.
I had people.
If they keep messing up, they're gonna get Kevin LePage a lot of weeks. So.
That's right.
I already saw someone say Kevin LePage in the chat. I think we should start penciling that.
Just pencil it in, just in case. Yeah. But good job.
They're tied for the lead despite actually picking Kevin.
I know. That's so sad.
That's rough.
No, it's not. I don't think it's sad on their part. I think it's sad on our part.
Yeah, it's sad on our part.
I guess it's sad. They should be in the lead right now, but their hubris got the best of them.
But I mean, the way the point system, I mean, the way Jarrett set up the point system though is that you can have some mulligans some weeks, not consistently, but
if you pick the same person and tie, you're going to have the same amount of points as them, and then so If all of us pick the same person or most of us pick the same person, it's actually not that bad of a week if they do bad. But yeah, so that's that. And then I think we got one other thing. Darian, what do we have left for
Oh, the poll, the famous iceberg poll. What was the net positivity on that? I'm assuming it was really high.
Man, YouTube updated their thing again. Stupid.
Oh yeah, I saw YouTube was like adding something else. It was dumb.
YouTube's gonna get rid of the dislike button for or not get rid of it, but make it private so you can't see how many dislikes a video has. That's what they're gonna try.
Man up, y'all.
If you're gonna do that, just get rid of the button in general.
Yo,
they're still mad at us for YouTube Rewind 2019.
Oh, you know what, guys? Just man up and just like leave the dislike button. All right. I don't know who requested that. I don't really care.
I did share that with some of my coworkers because obviously that's what we all work in YouTube. My coworkers and I now, so they were kind of okay with that one, but I think it's because of the content that we produce. So something we don't want to see. So.
You make amazing content like the four of us. You don't have to worry about people mass disliking. So
it was weird. I was watching Emp's old video about this, and the man called it. I like Emp. We follow each other. Emp. So yeah, we love Emp. I hope he's watching. We just might. No kidding. That would be really weird compared to what the day is.
What's the poll? What is the poll?
So I'm just gonna keep pushing it off. Yeah. So 50% of you thought this was a great race. You agreed with me. 31% of you thought it was a good race. Fair enough. 10% of you said it was average, and then 4 apiece said below average and bad, which means there is a net positivity of 81%, net negativity of 8%.
Where does that rank in terms of net positivity?
I got the rankings here. So this is the 4th most voted on poll ever at 12.6 thousand viewers. We were 800 off with 24 less hours of voting. So good job, y'all. As for where this one ranks net positivity all time, it is tied for 25th all time with last year's Talladega Fall race and the 2020 midweek Charlotte race and the spring Las Vegas race last year. That's out of 76, by the way. So it's in the top third, give or take.
So it was a good race.
Top third percentile.
Our viewers are usually positive in the votes. Yeah. Not so much in the comments, but
no.
I'm looking forward to hearing that last comment today.
So am I, because I didn't look ahead this time.
That's gonna be good.
The net negativity of 8%, just to put it in perspective, it's about the same as the 2019 Bristol Spring Race or this year's Daytona Road Course race. And if you wanted to compare it to other Bristol races ever that we've had on the poll, it fits right in the middle at number 4 out of 6. The summer race in 2020, or the spring race, I should say, is higher, as are the last 2 night races. Lower than it are the 2019 spring race and the All-Star race. So there's that.
Not bad.
Let's look at some comments here. Zygag, I think is his name, had the top comment. With 66 likes. Says, my only issue was the fact that the groove never really widened out. But other than that, the racing was fun to watch, and Suarez did really good in this race. If you didn't like the groove being really, really shallow down low today, or with that race, you would not want to watch Old Bristol.
You would hate it.
By the way, we never really talked about this, but something I noticed from the stands, earlier on, I saw the cars going sideways, but after that group really ran in there, it looked like a normal Bristol race. They weren't even like sliding at that point.
Yeah, I mean, just like the way they would slide entering the corner and then coming off the corner at Bristol. It was a combination of old school Bristol and obviously the dirt Bristol too. I was like, wow, this is so satisfying to watch.
Blue Cup says Hamlin chokes everyone. Wow, what a surprise!
What a surprise!
I chose to put that inflection in there. Dill Pickles put, I really wanted Ricky to win, but this is still a great race. Well, that's cool. Let's see if we can find someone negative before we get to the bottom. Because
this is going to be really hard this week to find any negative comments, I would assume. But I won't put it past the iceberg poll to do that.
I would be shocked.
Let's see.
Have you got any dirt is for farming comments?
Yeah. Or no. Any of the Richard Petty dirt is high school type comments or something like that.
This one from a dude named Blake says, this is not the old Bristol. Bristol always had concrete.
Oh, we found a time traveler.
Wow, what a genius! What a genius!
Ooh.
A genius guy.
Oh,
He's a
man.
genius, yo.
Dude,
y'all know Bristol had concrete before dirt.
It was asphalt once.
Yeah,
Let's see what else we got
pure
here.
genius over here.
I'm trying to see.
He's trying to find the negative ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a negative one.
There's too many positive ones now, guys. It's too positive of a race.
Watch the negative one is going to be someone being like, I hate that NASCAR couldn't control the rain. What, do you think they have access to HARP? Or whatever it is. Here we go. Tim Horton's Cup Series says, in my opinion, it was pretty disappointing. It was really hard to pass, especially for the lead. There were, 5 lead changes? Yeah, there were, but lead changes don't make a race.
There's too many cautions to really, and no shakeups on pit road to really allow.
Yeah, remember, like they couldn't do the long green flag runs as I hoped, but I understand why they couldn't do that though.
KM put below average. The last stage really saved this race, however. Oh, that's kind of positive.
Yeah.
There was more passing, less dust, better racing. Should be better next year. NASCAR will have more to go off of rather than just guesswork like this year.
Oh yeah, Danny, I meant to ask, how bad was the dust? Was it like really bad, or it was?
Yeah, no. At one point, I couldn't really see it. I could tell there were cars. I couldn't tell who was who though.
Oh damn!
Especially in turns 1 and 2, I just really couldn't see anything over there because it seemed like all the dust was kind of floating off in one direction, like it was all going one direction. But like over in turns 3 and 4, I could see a little bit better. But for the most part, I just couldn't tell who was who.
Ian Mike 4899 said this was a dumpster fire farce of a race, and I absolutely loved it.
A farce? Wow. I wouldn't say it was a farce, but
no. What?
What are you, British now?
A farce? Yeah, like that's the only way I can say that.
You're gonna be watching some NASCAR,
dude. No, because they say this they say that in freaking F1 broadcasts. Yeah, they say that all the time. Like, oh, this race is such a farce or something like that. If it's like really, really bad or something.
You know, NASCAR.
NASCAR, yeah.
This is NASCAR we're talking about.
This is NASCAR, yeah. But no, this race wasn't a farce. It wasn't a farce.
We got the last comment here.
All right, what's the name?
Jesus Christ, it's a long one. MV Rauner.
Negative.
I see him often in my chat. I'm going to say it's positive, actually.
I'll say negative.
I go negative each week. It never lets me down.
Negative.
All right. Let me read this book here. The Dirt Bristol went as well as I would expect it to go. The wrecks were kind of sloppy, especially when it came to the drivers trying to avoid the spinners. But at the same time, we did have some excellent racing. I think the race had a fair balance of wrecks and racing. I have to hope that we'll see Dirt Bristol race return next year. It will. And hopefully with the Gen 7 cars out in 2022, the racing will be even better and hopefully improved now that the drivers have experienced what it's like to race these cars in the dirt. End first paragraph. There's only 2. There's only 2. There's only 2.
Oh man, it sounds logical. What happened, man? We don't want you guys to sound logical. Where's the entertainment?
I've seen them before. They're usually pretty.
Yeah. No, that's good.
There's more.
Good.
There's
There's
more. I also believe that this race should be taken with a grain of salt, since the real test for the future of Dirt Bristol will come when the Gen 7 car comes out. Fingers crossed, this race will be back. Well, it will. 9 out of 10 race. P.S. This comment better be positive if this is the last comment.
Well, I actually had to say, I'm going to say it's more of a true neutral. That really didn't go positive.
Yeah, that was probably the most logical comment, last comment we have ever read thus far.
That was just a true neutral, honestly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And then Caleb Bono commented in the response comments, hold on, are my eyes deceiving me? Is my vision up to par? What am I seeing? Am I seeing a positive last comment? Am I high? What is this sorcery?
Wow.
I had to add that in. That was fun. But yeah.
Hope you got a good grade on that paper, MV Rauner.
I'm gonna lean positive there. I think that was
positive. That's positive. Yeah, it's a little more positive. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I win.
First positive one of the year.
Nice.
How about that? So thank you all for voting in the poll. We're not gonna have a poll for Easter. Have a good Easter with that.
Yeah, let's have a good Easter.
Was Easter good?
Was your Easter good?
How was this Easter? Great, good, average, below average?
I did that for Christmas in 2019. I'm like, how was your Christmas? Great, good, average, below average, bad.
Actually, you know what? Just for the heck of it, just do it. Just do it. Was this a good Easter?
I guarantee Easter will become the most negatively voted race.
Like, no, because I was rooting for Gonzaga and they lost or something. Yeah. I hope they don't. For
the Easter Bunny only gave me 2 chocolates this year.
The bunny broke my window.
The bunny gave me coal. He mixed up holidays. Damn it!
The bunny raided my pantry and ate my cookies.
You don't want to miss the pantry raid.
This is too many Easter jokes. Too many Easter
too much
jokes
going on here,
dude. I don't even really celebrate Easter like that.
Daddy's face, Daddy, your face was great. That was perfect. You had this look of disappointment.
I instantly got the reference.
You had this look of disappointment in me that I will never be able to emulate.
The only other times I've ever really celebrated Easter like that was like back in high school. I would like go to church with my family sometimes on Easter, but like I haven't been back since. So Easter, like yeah, have a happy Easter.
Philip Richards in the chat is picking Teresa Earnhardt to win Easter.
What?
I think you should move us on to the next segment.
Okay,
yeah, just move on.
This is actually perfect. Let's move on to the mailbag question, as it is mostly a question for me.
The mailbag question. Nice.
This comes in from I'm going to butcher his name. Brendan Stawecki, and he says, I know this is not about racing, but Daddy, what is your favorite lake you have fished on? P.S. Spin the UFO and love all of you guys' videos. Keep up the great work. First of all, thank you for sending that in. Brendan, you guys can send your questions to the mailbag. And Jarrett, what is the email address for that?
All lowercase letters, weekly podcast guest @gmail.com. This does not mean you'll be a guest, just that your question will be featured on the show.
So to answer that question, what is my favorite lake that I have fished on? It's probably going to have to be Lake Chickamauga, because I feel like that's always a lake when I go there. Even though I don't fish it often, I always seem to have good results there. It's a fun fishery to fish in. There's lots of places to go to. Probably second is going to be the lake that I grew up fishing, Norris Lake. And then a third is going to be Cherokee Lake, another lake that I grew up fishing. But there's still a ton of lakes in Tennessee I have not fished in. A lot of lakes in the country I'd still like to maybe fish at one day, but yeah, right now it's got to be Lake Chickamauga as a leading candidate for one of my favorite places to go to, because I just seem to at least always catch at least a few big fish when I go there.
I once threw my brother in a lake years ago.
I once was on a canoe on a lake.
And I'm going to take Darian on my boat, and hopefully everything goes okay.
No, I'm going to throw myself off the lake. Yeah, I'm going to throw myself off the lake when we go tubing. That's going to be
now we know who to blame.
I'm going to willingly jump off the boat into the lake. But that's a good question. And yeah, so there you go.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Oh, smoke.
I know that we read these at the top of the hour, but big love to my man Smoke Carpenter. I met him for the first time this weekend at Bristol, and not only did he give me an awesome new Alex Bowman shirt, he just donated $100. Smoke Carpenter, I really appreciate that, my dude. He said, see y'all in Nashville. I'll definitely try to see you again there, and hope you enjoyed Bristol there, Smoke.
Yeah, hopefully,
That's gonna
hopefully
be fun.
We see you in Nashville. It's going to be fun, man. That's awesome. Thank you, Smoke. Yeah, he's done big, giant super chats like that before, too. So it's been a minute.
He's always been one of our more loyal fans, so we always appreciate seeing you in the chat there.
Yeah. He runs all the races and stuff. He's pretty cool.
I can't wait to go back and rewatch my reaction to that, because I think my eyes just like bugged out of my head.
Yeah, I haven't seen $100 super chat on the podcast since season 1 when that happened?
No, it happened. It happened last year.
Did it?
I think we've had it on Eric's channel once this year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But dang, I think Danny, it's just gonna stick with you for a minute here, because based on what I'm reading on the itinerary.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this brings us into a portion of our show. We want to thank our sponsors for this episode. Our first sponsor of the evening is our friends over at Lionel Racing. You can pre-order your 2021 diecast of your favorite drivers from LionelRacing.com. Today, I am featuring one of my favorites from Lionel, the 2014 Dale Jr. Daytona 500 race version.
I have that one at home.
What do you have to show tonight?
I just have this regular old Dale Jr. 2004 scheme still in the box. I've had this diecast since the first grade. Get a nice cold case of Dale Jr. instead of Budweiser, of course, the annual tradition.
Just say that's the EA Sports version.
Yes, the EA Sports version. Yeah, basically. So
the E10 and up version. Well, this diecast actually got sent to me in my PO box. It's an IROC Matt Kenseth car from 2006, if I recall.
That was the final year of IROC, actually.
And it's completely blown out in my light right here because it's a nice
bright.
White and yellow.
Bright, man.
But there it is. Very cool. I'd never had an IROC car until then, so figured I'd show that off on stream.
Well, I'm sticking with going with our old favorite drivers. I have, in light of the Snyder Cut coming out, the Man of Steel scheme. Or Soldier of Steel, as it was known. I got to see this thing race live. I really liked it in person. Like, it actually looks better on the camera than it does.
It's nice. It's very sleek. Very sleek scheme.
It's matte coated. It's not gloss like the other die casts are. This scheme led up front at Michigan. It was, I'll tell you what, I've never heard a more clean, crisp sound of an engine like in person. I mean, like the whole pack went by. I've told the story before, but the whole pack went by and it's like that, like really low grumbling kind of sound. And then this one went by and it's like just smooth.
Perfect.
Until it dropped a cylinder and then
you heard it and then it was like or something.
I'm glad because I think I was like 15 when I went to that one, and I'm so glad the cars were loud because I cussed so loud. I'm pretty sure my parents would have hit me if they heard me. I got to see him win the week before, but you know what? I was greedy. But yeah, this is a really nice car, and even the underside is like gold.
Oh yeah, they always did that type of deal back in those days.
As long as we're talking about detailed diecast and stuff, I just want to say this is not a NASCAR diecast, but it was made by Action, same people who made the NASCAR diecast back then. It's part of the Castaway Boats lineup. You guys know who Hank Parker Jr. was. This is a diecast boat of Hank Parker Sr.'s Ranger Comanche from 2002, and the detail in this thing is like something I've never seen before. There is actually, these are actually wires that are here. The motor does moving around like that. It has these little pedestal seats that move around. Boxes on the boat actually open up, and there's actually little fishing rods in there. The cool things it's so much detail. It's got little straps here on the back that actually keep the boat on there, and the boat comes off the trailer like that too. So that's pretty cool. They went all the way to make little velvet, it's carpet for a boat trailer on there. And every little thing about this is just working. The trolling motor comes up out of the boat. This is something that I wish they still made because I would probably collect more than just one of these things. But it's really cool. And if you get a 124 scale pickup truck by somebody, you could actually just hook it up to it too. So kind of wish that wasn't such a rare thing to find. But I got a good deal on that at Bristol.
Nice. Yes, thank you, Lionel, for sponsoring. Well, basically the next segment coming up, and
guys, you remember the flooding we had?
And once again, the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we have on tap?
Feels like every week Jarrett's in the spot that he gets electrocuted.
I know, it's great. That's right on my face. I saw that. Yes, lightning round this week. Not the biggest one because it's an off week and a rain delay, so a lot of stuff getting pushed back a week or so. But first off, big one right here. Congratulations to two people. First, our buddy Slapshoes hit 100,000 subscribers in the past week. I believe he did it yesterday or the day before. And then Darian hit 40K today.
Get in there, Darian. Get in there. 40K.
That's
40K.
Me. That's me.
That's me. Thank you guys so much, though. I appreciate it. It's unbelievable.
And,
congrats,
and also, our boy Eric hit 150K.
150. Get in there,
it wasn't
Eric.
last week.
Yeah.
That's
Get
me.
in there,
That's
Eric.
me. No, yeah. Well, welcome to the club, Slap. I hope you get one of your silver button. Hopefully soon. I was honestly for years I was worried YouTube was going to stop doing that, so I was really glad I got it.
They better not.
I don't think they will. You guys are going to have your opening. I'm excited.
I want to get one next year.
Yeah.
32.4. That's me.
Technically,
that's me.
Technically, I run a channel that has 152,000 subscribers. So.
Ooh.
That's you.
That's you. Man, we got like that crackhead Clint Boyer energy tonight, man. The possible next NASCAR game from Motorsports Games could be called NASCAR NXT based on some official document I saw.
If that's true,
it's subject to change as well, though. Too. It also pointed that out.
If that's true, I'm waiting for WWE to sue them over that.
That would be probably what would happen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because WWE just had that thing.
NASCAR and Formula One have been added to the new update of Rocket League.
I'm hyped for that. I used to play Rocket League so much in college. I was literally the last few weeks like, man, I kind of want to get back into Rocket League. And then, this week, F1 and NASCAR, next week, they'll be added to the game. So
it's still widely popular, dude, it's like, everywhere.
I got on it the other day, and it was even more. Like, they show you how many people are playing. It was like triple what it was when I was in college. I'm like, oh, this game's getting more popular.
As good as your streams have done of like Fortnite and Among Us and what
I wouldn't say good, but
what was the game you played for a while?
Fall Guys.
Yes, that one was popular for like a few weeks, and then Among Us happened.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna start streaming some Rocket League as soon as that happens.
We gotta do that. We gotta link up on that, Darian. That sounds fun.
We should do that as an IRL stream one night.
Yeah, let's play
Rocket League. That might be a BS stream. I don't know. But anyway, more news. Carl Edwards has crawled out of his cave and is going to be a NASCAR race hub this Friday.
Announcing his bid for public office. I don't know. That's actually
probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Yeah, I wish he would announce, I'm coming back for that championship. Not going to happen.
He's going to race in the SRX. They need some star power.
They need they need some younger drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have a nursing home inside of the media center.
You got to make sure you have one for Mikey. Yeah, especially for Mikey.
Got to have nap time after the race.
Oh, God.
Next gen cars from each manufacturer, I said are at Martinsville. They were yesterday, today, and I believe they're going to be tomorrow. Alex Bowman is driving the Chevrolet. David Reagan driving a Ford. Drew Herring in a Toyota, according to Bob Pockris.
What a weird trio of drivers.
I know, that's so weird.
Only one is a current driver.
So Drew Herring, like he's always been Toyota's test driver for about the past 2-3 years now, basically.
And then he ran one Cup race in a '96.
And in Homestead 2019. He's been good in ARCA and stuff before. Yeah,
he's Truex's spotter.
Whenever people are let back in the track, if he's there, talk to him. He's one of the nicest people.
Yeah, I remember. I went up to him. I remember going up to him. Homestead 2019. Yeah, he was cool.
But also they're testing, and I think we'll just say it now. They're testing rain tires possibly on wet racetracks at Martinsville, trying to take the fight to the weather, baby.
And it's not the first time. They did this back in 1995 with Labonte.
I got to be honest. I've seen someone else make this point. I think if they can handle the high banking at Daytona and Charlotte, and honestly, I think Dirt Bristol was a good enough experience to see how those guys handle like loose cars and ovals. I think
Martinsville would be perfect.
Honestly. I think they can make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's so flat. That the thing I'm worried about though is it's so flat that if you carry too much speed, you're going straight to the wall.
Just straight in there.
And they compared it to driving on ice. And I think I have the most experience driving on ice, and I'm still awful.
Definitely,
you have the only experience. I think.
Well, I lived in Utah for almost a year, so kind of have some experience.
Yeah, but Wisconsin, Illinois.
Yeah.
No, man, it's like Irvin Alvarado said in the chat. Hydroplaning is not fun because you have no control whatsoever. So I can just see it happening. They charge off into the corner, and it's the big one at Martinsville. It's going to be like NASCAR Thunder 04.
I actually had a moment on the way to Bristol that scared me. I hydroplaned on I-40, and it scared me. Getting into Knoxville, just for whatever reason, on the left side, there was like a ton of water there, and I'm going 75, 80 miles an hour and high. Luckily, I just kept both wheels on and stayed straight. It wasn't long. hydroplaned my left side of the truck and just kept going straight.
And Darian, remember when we were driving through Nashville before Danny's wedding and it was raining and I kind of slid a little bit?
It was bad, yeah.
That was fun, man.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like I'm nuts, and I'm sitting there laughing.
I'm like, holy shit. This is crazy.
he's looking at me like I'm nuts, and I'm sitting there laughing my ass off like I'm nuts.
I never done that.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Bristol, according to Chris Knight, is aiming for 100% capacity for the fall race. I can't wait, man.
I can't wait.
I'm just gonna say it. Based on what I saw this weekend, they're ready. Because they might as well be there already with how few people are wearing masks. They just cannot enforce it at this point.
Well, and almost half of the country at this point has at least one dose of the vaccine. You're telling me they can't get it by September, like 30% more? Like
I was gonna say, like, you know, Bristol says they want 100%. I think nearly every sports venue, concert venue would say the exact same thing, that they want 100% as soon as possible. Obviously, there's enough public pressure and there's enough, you know, health concerns that you can't do it yet. But yeah, come September, I wouldn't rule it out.
Just don't listen to the person screaming in the corner.
Here's what I got to say about it. At this point, if that's something that's gonna make you not go to the race, if you feel like you're uncomfortable, you don't have to go to the race. But
don't ruin it for everyone else.
Those who are wanting to go to it, they're gonna go to it. I probably would still wear my mask, but you can't make people wear them now at this point, honestly. So you just gotta practice your safety. Do what makes you comfortable. That's all I can say.
Yeah, just do what makes you comfortable. I mean, I'm down to go. Yeah, I'm totally gonna go to that one. But yeah, just do what makes you comfortable at this point.
Gaunt Brothers Racing's next Cup entry is going to be at April at Talladega.
You know, I gotta say this. This is the slowest lightning round ever, but like with all the buzz Ty Dillon generated a couple weeks ago, I didn't even realize he was racing this weekend.
Yeah,
he didn't either. H2. I'm like, hey, he's been 20th. Ty Dillon's in this race.
Yeah, he's been off. Yeah.
I just think it's funny. We always kind of joke that Ty Dillon's that forgettable driver, and then he got everyone's attention the last few weeks with his off track things, and then we forgot about him.
Again.
Fun was interesting. It was another race at Bass Pro Shops, and they had a different paint scheme for some reason.
Really quick, we got four things left. One sad one here. Rest in peace to Bernice Wood, wife of the legend Glenn Wood, passed away at the age of 90 yesterday.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, three other things here. These are kind of more positive. NASCAR has reinstated Mike Wallace, and I never can pronounce this dude's name. Josh Rayom.
Rayom.
All right, yeah. They've reinstated him. Keep him away from Pop-Tarts. We know the whole deal.
Which one was the pop? Was that?
Yeah, Rayom. That was Rayom. And then
keep him away from Pop-Tarts. And then keep them away from strudel.
And then I think if I'm not mistaken, Mike Wallace just said a bunch of dumb stuff and got suspended. So
he's a Wallace. They'll say dumb stuff about anything. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not good.
It wasn't good.
It's still entertaining. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chase Elliott will honor Alan Quickie at Darlington. I will pretend to be shocked.
Wow, shocker.
It looks clean. It looks clean. We've seen it before. Yeah. I mean, it's like when they bring the rainbow car out for the 20th. Whoa.
No, what?
Whoa. And then,
however, I do gotta say the merch for it, designed by Harris Liu, looks amazing.
Yeah, Harris is the best in the business, man. And then last thing here, you can buy a jar of Bristol dirt for charity for $45 a jar. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it now. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
I'm just gonna say this. That ain't.
It's really, a charity.
It ain't really from the track. They're using that dirt still. So
the dirt was from the flooded last night.
They have extra runoff of the dirt they're using anyway. Yeah. But it's for a charity. Yeah.
But Teddy Deliver says, "Wow, a Greg Biffle throwback." Cool key card. I'm sorry.
So, I saw that they're using some of it, but the thing is, they have extra dirt they're using like for the next couple races in the next week or two. Yeah. So, yeah,
I'll put it right next to the dirt I had in my desk growing up. My uncle sent me dirt from the old Yankee Stadium before they tore it down.
Oh, that's I
don't know where it is now. But if it's still in my desk in my parents' house, then I'll add the Bristol dirt next to it.
Mm-hmm. This makes me think this is funny. So one of the outside tent vendors at Bristol was already selling jars of dirt that they were marketing as Bristol dirt, but it definitely did not look like it. was more brown. It wasn't even like red clay. It just was like brown dirt.
He was selling dirt and saying it was from the track.
Yeah.
Well, because they they did show like pictures of some of it, and you can see it. It is rubbered up. Some of it is like inside. But yeah, so it's for charity. I believe it's for like Speedway Children's Charity or something.
Yeah,
like
one of those deals.
It's a good cause though.
They're the ones that they usually come up like the red buckets and stuff at Bristol. So.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So, but that was a lightning round, and there's that.
Fantastic.
And that'll do it for another edition of the Lightning Round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, we'll get to those super chats in a moment, but first we have to thank our other big sponsor of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. I got my hat ready. Forney Industries is back once again for all your welding, metalworking, plasma cutting machine needs. Check out Forney Industries. This doesn't look, and it actually looks okay. It matches my outfit a little bit better today, better than last week. But for do-it-yourselfers all the way to professionals, Forney has everything you need for your next big project. So check them out at forneyind.com. Forney, I-N-D. That's Forney with an F. Y'all in the chat never listen to me. It's Forney with an F, I-N-D.com. Or check them out at an authorized Forney dealer near you. Got the hat and everything to prove it. Check them out.
I kind of laugh thinking about it. You know, David Land has the Puma hat. I have the Winston hat. Eric has the Forney hat.
Forney hat.
The Forney hat, yes.
The Forney. I said Forney. I know that was not a Freudian slip.
No, the chat intentionally mishears us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had a Freudian slip. It's the Freudian Forney chat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note, not only are we supported by our friends over at Forney Industries, we are supported by viewers like you, thanks to these super chats.
Wait, we're PBS?
Yeah, I was about to say, thank you.
We are the professional BS streamers. Anyway.
Close enough.
So let's get into this. Stephen Gibson started off the night pretty early with a very generous $20. I appreciate that, Stephen. He says, with Marcus Smith, and this is going to be something I think we'll talk about more later, but we might talk about it now, I don't know. With Marcus Smith coming out saying he hasn't forgotten about North Wilkesboro and the mostly positive outlook on the dirt, what would you think of Wilkesboro being D/A permanent dirt track? And this is something that me and Claudia were talking about at dinner tonight. Honestly, I don't think that's a half bad idea, because as what we learned at Dirt Bristol was that you don't need a real garage or anything like that, because you just do it all from the truck. No live pit stops, so you don't need an up-to-date pit area. You just need to bring them in so they can do what they need to do. Honestly, you don't even have to park them straight. A lot of times in practice sessions at Bristol Motor Speedway, they just park them like diagonally and they just do what they need to. Could even do something like that in this kind of scenario. So you could do something like that, and it's no secret the surface there would have to be destroyed and redone entirely if they wanted to make that a concrete track. If you wanted to do dirt, just pile a bunch of dirt on it and it should be fine. You don't need to put in safer barriers because they actually took them away at Bristol Motor Speedway. So there's another thing you don't have to do. They'll need to redo the catch fence, and then they'll have to just knock out basically all the grandstands and all the other facilities and rebuild that. That is a much cheaper option than trying to make North Wilkesboro Speedway like a nicer, newer version of what it used to be. That would be
basically be a big Eldora.
That would be the best case scenario if they want to do something with North Wilkesboro, and then they could try to make it just a regular dirt track.
Well, if that's the case, then, that sounds realistic. After how well Dirt Bristol did, then, that possibility sounds pretty realistic.
I know a lot of the efforts from those online has been, we want to see North Wilkesboro Speedway back the way it used to be.
Well, that's not the case. It's not going to be.
This is your most plausible option.
That's your consolation prize.
If you want something to happen, they have done a good job. They preserved it forever in iRacing, but if you want it to be something, a dirt track is your answer, I think.
I'm for a dirt track. I'm not nostalgic in any way about North Wilkesboro, so I just want to see it used in the most purposely way it can possibly use today. And I think building a dirt track that's suited for NASCAR, that fills a gap that doesn't exist right now. There is no such thing on the schedule. Like, there's no dirt track that's exclusively built for NASCAR. The closest thing is Eldora, and Tony Stewart probably won't let NASCAR race.
He's like, never again.
So, And the problem is if you build another asphalt short track there in the North Carolinas, Tennessee area, I mean, there's that's like right in the heart where all the other short tracks already are in NASCAR. So what's the point of adding another one? There's really is no point. So, I like the idea of a dirt track, something like that. I think you're right, Danny, it'd be a little bit cheaper. Wouldn't be much cheaper because I think most of the investment would need to go into, the surrounding area, and specifically the grandstands would have to be basically torn down and rebuilt from scratch. But it sounds realistic. Marcus Smith is planting some seeds. This speaks to a larger conversation. It feels like NASCAR and Speedway Motorsports and everyone involved is investing in the sport's future right now, whether it's, tire testing a rain tire, whether it's redoing Auto Club Speedway, hauling dirt once or twice a year into Bristol Motor Speedway. Like, they're willing to spend money right now with the hopes that it pays off here in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So, fairgrounds could get renovated. Why not North Wilkesboro too?
I think no matter what happens, I think it's all leading up to enjoy Dirt Bristol as long as they do it, because I think eventually Bristol Spring will no longer be a thing. I think it's going to lean into the direction to eventually have Nashville Fairground Speedway take over the spring date that Bristol would usually have, and then Nashville Fairgrounds will basically become like a modern version of what I think people wanted North Wilkesboro to be. You just have to settle for it being in Nashville with a bigger population.
Right in an urban area, which is why I think that's smart.
And then, if they decide to do it, North Wilkesboro could be, a summertime thing. I would still say do it in the summer when the rain's not as big of a risk. But yeah, that would be how I would see that going.
I mean, there's just been so many factors over the years to why Wilkesboro was never brought back, just because of the general location of the track, the condition it's been left in. And yeah, the way Danny's put it, I feel like, a dirt North Wilkesboro, totally dedicated to some sort of dirt racing. I feel like not only, NASCAR wouldn't be the only series to race there, I would assume, if this is a thing.
That opens them up to a lot more. You get the right management team in there. They can have dirt racing every weekend and then host big series like World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil, all the big ones that come there.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like if you have your very own dirt facility, and I feel like if this is built, this will be like, one of like the biggest, most famous, newest venues. You have to have the World of Outlaws, I think, there. That'd be perfect.
There's a huge population of dirt racers in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, East Tennessee, Virginia. They'd all be able to come in, at least a few weekends a year to try to compete there, especially if it's a bigger show that they've got online.
And just to have some racing back on the track in general too is good.
Okay, I hate being I'm gonna revert back to my old self here. This isn't gonna be all sunshine and rainbows here. Like a few weeks ago, we were all clowning, in the chat about how this is never going to happen. The place is turning into a forest. And now all of a sudden, because we had a good dirt race, we're thinking North Wilkesboro is going to get brought back.
I know it sounds silly, but I think it's just the fact that no one ever really considered that this could be a plausible option.
Yeah.
They've talked about North Wilkesboro over and over again throughout the years, saying that's still on the radar. We might do something to it. This might happen. And it never does. It's been almost 30 years, 25 years.
It'll still be one of those things when it's where I'll believe it when I see it. But that's not a bad idea.
Game.
It's not a bad idea.
That's the thing. They could have its own dirt track, but at the same time, if Dirt Bristol brings in 80,000 people, why are we going to then replace it with a facility that's going to bring in?
That's the thing. They do need 50. to see how next year does, because that'll be a better indication.
You have to, not even next year. I think you need a larger pool than that, because we're still going to be, in my opinion, we're still going to deal with what I'm going to call the COVID hangover, where people are still going to be gun shy about doing big events like this. So you're not going to get an accurate gauge for another year, 2 or 3. And the thing I have to ask is that what is to gain about this when it comes to the broader appeal of NASCAR? And this is the question that I think we need to ask here is, we're talking about going to a Chicago street course, possibly going to LA, building, tracks closer to big cities and big markets. You're right between Bristol, which is a huge hub for all of racing, and Charlotte, which is one of the fastest growing cities in America. What's to gain by having a track out in the middle of the boonies?
I guess
basically,
I guess
the whole argument against Kentucky.
I guess the only thing that is to gain is that if you make that the like the NASCAR.
Yeah, the dirt track.
That is
for
the only thing that they take away from that.
Yeah,
I'm with Jarrett. Thinking too much.
I'm with Jarrett though. Why do we have to make North Wilkesboro? Like again, I'm not nostalgic for North Wilkesboro. I know a lot of people are. I'm not.
I never saw a single race at North Wilkesboro. I'm kind of in the same boat with Eric.
I just want to see NASCAR actually build a track that's going to attract fans for more than 2 years. Because you build something in North Wilkesboro, people will show up because it's a novelty. But it's
the long term deal.
Major city. Well, if you're gonna spend all that money to build a whole racetrack, because basically if you went to Wilkesboro, you'd be building it from scratch. If you're gonna build a racetrack from scratch, why would you not hand select the market? Cincinnati, Tennessee, South Carolina. I'm just trying to think, Georgia. Why would you not hand pick a market that you really think is going to evolve and grow for years and years that NASCAR already has a little bit of a foothold in?
And another question too is, what's the point of bringing a track back like that if you're not going to bring it back to how the fans wanted it? Because let's not act like that dirt racing is just universally loved amongst fans. There is a large amount of fans who aren't crazy about this. Who the reason that we did this for Bristol is it was a last ditch effort. We're trying to throw a pitch for a track that last ditch effort was in 2011. Yeah. You look at Rockingham, and Rockingham came back 2012, 2013. And in my opinion, that one has more of a realistic chance today because, even the Cars Tour is racing on it and it's race ready. That track, based on what NASCAR wanted and the numbers I saw back from attendance, viewership, whatever they may be going off of, wasn't good enough to keep Rockingham or to justify keeping Rockingham even on the truck schedule back in 2012, 2013 when we had double the viewers watching the sport.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pessimistic about this, but it's just to the point right now where it doesn't fit where NASCAR's going. That's
NASCAR's trying to go for the street courses, trying to get back in those markets.
It's reinventing itself, and I like going back to the past, but there's no justifiable reason to go back to the past aside from this would be cool.
Outside of diehard fans like myself and Danny kind of, propping this idea up. I
would love it. Dude, if it gains traction, I'll get behind it. I want this track back.
It's just the first thing I've heard suggested for that track that actually somewhat makes sense. Everything else doesn't. So
and then with all the stuff that's happened this year, it's like a dedicated dirt North Wilkesboro. It may or may not. But it sounds realistic to me.
Go.
Though, so diehard fans would go. Diehard fans would definitely go.
I want to clear something up because a lot of people that watch us also follow us on other social media. I got into a little spat with Save the Speedway, and it's not that I don't want this to happen. That's the thing that I think got lost in translation there. I'm not somebody who just wants to meme it. If this happens, no matter what series, even if it's the World of Outlaws and it's not NASCAR in general, if it comes back, I will go there and put my money into it to support it. It just doesn't feel realistic at this point. If this was 2011, I'd believe it more.
With how the track currently is, it's definitely not capable. That's why if they have to go in effort that's not going to cost an absurd amount of money, that's the only option, I think.
At this point, I'm just sick of the talk. Somebody needs to do something. Like SMI, they've owned the track for years. They keep saying, "Hey, we're going to do this," and they're kind of getting my hopes up again and stuff. But Jarrett kind of reminded me, "Hey, let's
concrete
put a cap on
one
this.
Or the other.
SMI,
just stop dangling it."
SMI seems like they want to keep the dirt track because honestly, I will say this, the crowd I saw there was heavily favored towards Larson, so I feel like this race did bring out a lot different of a fan base than it usually would have. So
the World of Outlaws base.
There is a demand for people who like dirt to see this happen with NASCAR. So I think if in that case there is that possibility of finding a reason to do this, but also for Bristol Motor Speedway, it does not feasibly make sense to keep spending the money of laying down the dirt, taking it off before September, putting it back down before March, taking it out before September. That's part of the reason it only lasted 2 years when they did it earlier in 2000s anyways.
And plus, I want my 2 concrete Bristol races back. I want those 2 races back. I'm going to be quite honest with you.
You'll only get the one because I definitely think the spring one's going away. So
Yeah.
but maybe not forever.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe not forever.
We spent 10 minutes on one super chat.
Yeah, well, we wanted to talk about that.
Oh wait, this is a super chat.
Yeah,
oh my god,
we wanted to hit on that. So yeah, let's get through the rest of the super.
That was in our notes to talk about anyway. So it kind of
we were gonna hit on that.
So appreciate that one again. Let's get back into it. Plus, we don't really have much more to talk about anyway, so we can go through these. So, $4.99 come in from Ethan Kane. Appreciate that. I think it's referred back to the first super chat. Steven, I was listening to the download and had the same thought. You want to talk about getting back to our roots? North Wilkesboro was built a dirt track. Yes, it was.
It was.
So that'd be really going back to NASCAR's roots right there.
Yeah.
Groovy Goose. Eric, have you seen this goose? Is that the same goose that was in my flood at Bristol?
Yeah, he gets around.
Danny V to the Weather Channel. I was the goose, by the way. That's what he said. Ethan Kane coming in with another $1.99. Pretty doubtful, though. A fun thought, however. Again, I think let's talk about North Wilkesboro.
Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
Our buddy Jake Baskinger coming in with $1.99. Favorite kind of peanut butter? I would say Jif.
I would die.
Jif. Is it Jif or GIF?
Oh, yeah. Stop. But, yes, I heard that, Jared. Poor man cannot have peanut butter.
Yeah, he can't have it. Like my little brother can't either.
Nicholas.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Get up to heaven. And God's like, how did you get here?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. That was your damn fault to begin with.
Yeah.
It's GIF, child.
Oh, my gosh. My bad.
Bless you. How many times, bro? Is that like the 8th bless you?
Take a shot every time Danny sneezes. Take a shot.
I took allergy medicine before the streams. I don't know what's going on. Anyways.
Did you eat peanut butter?
Yeah.
No, but I'm having rowdy energy, so maybe I'm allergic to that.
I can imagine.
Kyle!
Hal.
He had too much. He put too much rowdy in him. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't sound right. Move on. Move on. Move on.
Okay.
Move on.
Darian.
Nicholas Gray coming in at $5. Think about going to Bristol next year. Which race for my first visit should I attend? A dirt race or night race? Honestly, I'd say both if you can do it.
Why
night
not
race? If you got to choose one, night race.
Night race, bro.
Yeah, if you have to choose one, night race. Honestly, go to night race this year if you can get a ticket, and then go to dirt race next year.
Yes, MV Rounder negative last comment streak was broken by you.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Gibson with another $2. SHR needs Brad K. And at number 10 next year, badly. Again, we talked about this. I don't think he fits that mold over there. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd love him if he took it, but I don't see why Keselowski would.
Dude, I don't know. Stewart and Keselowski together, I don't know.
That's a deal that I just wouldn't do. Maybe in 2018 when every driver won a race, that'd look good, but not now.
Yeah.
GN coming in with $5. Appreciate that. Almirola has had 6 consecutive weekends of 25th or worst place finishes. Absolute disaster.
Oh God!
Is this Darian's new bit?
It's so terrible.
It's kind of funny. I don't know why at this point. I almost want to see how long it will last. Like I don't want to root against a guy, but like I'm just kind of sitting here like, man.
He blows up on pit. Bless you. He blows up on pit road. Take a shot.
Fire him up, boys.
You remember when they had NASCAR on the Cleveland show, and it's like Casey Kane's like, if I just drive safe, I'll win the race, and the wheels fall off. Yeah, that's Almirola at this point.
That's a season.
Man, that's so bad. I'm sorry.
GN has a correction. 27th or worse.
Even worse.
That's even worse. Oh no.
But anyways, GN said he liked them in 2018, but he's probably out after 21. I would agree with that. In 18, he came into such a fire because he hadn't been in a good car, and that team hadn't shown anything. So that was peak Almirola in 2018, honestly.
Oh yeah, dude, everyone loved him. Now everyone hate. Now they're like,
they don't hate him. They're
they don't hate him. They're like, he's just doing bad.
They're just concerned about him, honestly.
Yeah, that's about it.
Platinum Paradise comes in at $4.99. Appreciate that. I don't think an annual dirt race is the way to go. The drivers didn't sign up for it, and NASCAR will be setting itself up for unforeseen disasters.
I would have said that's an argument is true until almost all the dirt regulars got schooled by the asphalt regulars pretty much all weekend long.
They did.
So no, NASCAR drivers proved they adapt very quickly. And
the drivers had a lot of fun. They all kept saying it was fun.
It's the argument that I have for the argument I have that's for pro airport racing, street racing, road courses. It fits right along with this. If this is the top series of stock car racing in America, And these are the best drivers in the world that they say. Put them on every form of racing. Have the most diverse schedule out there. I think it fits now. I didn't think so before, but I was proven wrong, and I might be proven wrong again. It might be a complete and utter cluster F.
Urban says anti-gravity racing. That's the next
anti-gravity.
We're gonna race on the moon.
We're gonna race in space.
All right.
Race on Mars.
Urban Alvarado comes in at $10. Appreciate that. Gene Haas is having nightmares of SHR. Free-falling this and Haas F1 kicking the can of 2022. But
they suck.
You know what? Mick Schumacher had a better weekend than the rest of the Haas stable.
Bro, Haas F1 sucks, bro. So Mazepin spun it after the first corner on lap 1, and then Schumacher spun it on the restart. So they kicked off the season not even completing a full lap in the first 5 laps under green without spinning. So that was interesting. And now he's struggling in NASCAR. It's just terrible season for Haas.
The Hyper Dark Sonic comes in with $2 and says in 2014, 5 winners were below 16.
Bless you again.
5 winners were below sneeze. They were below 16. And Zachary Plant comes in at $5. Question: should NASCAR make the dirt race the throwback weekend? What's more classic than watching Cup cars?
No.
Nah, they're going to get dirty, so no need to dirty up those beautiful schemes.
Yeah, exactly. Darlington's perfect. It's been perfect for years. No.
Should be the Southern 500, but we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Hey, you get 2 Darlingtons this year with the 7 package.
I don't mind.
I call that a win.
Yeah, I don't mind
a win.
Yeah. But Chris St. John comes in at $4.99. Appreciate that. Hamlin would be sent to the moon. Got to add Dodge reference any chance possible.
He should have been sent to the moon. Or no, or Logano should have been sent to the moon. Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you again.
It's muted every time you do that, right?
Yes, I mute it every time, so only you guys are hearing that.
I feel bad for those Spotify listeners that are going to be like, they hear silence and then they hear us, bless you.
Just like, what is that?
My cat is not in here. I took allergy medicine. I don't know what's going on tonight. So,
yeah.
Let's see. We got Mike Davis. Mike Davis comes in at $5. If my boy Joe Logano wins at Martinsville, you each have to wear a Logano shirt in the next video. P.S. Eric's the man. Mike Davis.
Well, thank you, Mike Davis, but I'm not wearing a Logano shirt.
No. Where that have his
Oh no, yeah, I'll make my own Logano shirt. We should each design our own Joey Logano shirt and wear that.
I will take a Bowman shirt, print off a picture of Logano, and just put it there.
That's gonna be your design. That would be funny one week if we one day do that though. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
We got a while till Martinsville, so we can think.
If he win, how about if he wins a championship? We'll do that for the season opener of season 5.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm already thinking about my Logano design.
Now I am too. It'd be a fun way to go about it. We should get Logano on as the guest for that.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
He can judge our shirts.
Joey,
which shirt design is best?
Joey, can you sign your shirt or your face?
Yeah, I'll sign my shirt. Yeah.
He won't want to sign the one I design. I have a feeling.
I can just hear his voice.
I have a feeling a certain moment from Martinsville would be on there.
I might edit it a little bit, but perhaps.
Hey, I was there for that one.
Your shirt can be like what it looked like from your angle in the grandstand.
What immaculate cheering and just everything right in the world in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. PTM Billy comes in at $4.99. May not like Joey Logano, but as a Kyle Busch fan, I might get that win diecast. Also, don't tell me I'm going to have to wait all year for a KFB win. Well, you've already gotten one in the Truck Series at least, so.
Yeah.
Better than last year.
Yeah.
We have Lucas Hansen, no comment, just $2.99. Appreciate that. Levi Shones coming in at $4.99. Appreciate that. How about Blaney making the top 10 after wrecking?
Yeah,
that was pretty badass.
That was good.
Plus,
very impressive.
Again.
I really hope someone does that as a drinking game. We do not condone doing that to the point where you're completely gone. But if someone did that as a drinking game, I'd love for them to like tweet at us after the fact. They'll be like,
and if you're using Fireball while playing the game, that's double points.
Man, that's like stuff that high schoolers steal. Like that's not that's nothing.
So you can tell I don't drink that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas Hansen, $2.99. Another $2 because I would have sent a 22.
Yeah. Should have sent the 22.
Wise man.
Sneeze.
We can take over the super chat reading if you need, Danny. I feel bad.
We'll scroll up, man.
You've been hit by a dust storm.
I will survive. Actually, I might take this. There could be cat hair on this hoodie. I'm gonna take it off just in case that's the case.
Take it off.
I'll keep it. Scott McNew comes in at $2. Move it to May and make it a night race. Night race, I think, should happen no matter what with the dirt race at Bristol. Mm-hmm. That's kind of
They should do it night one year. Yeah, they should do it night one season.
Do day-night transition. Yeah. Just to mess with it. While you're doing that, I'll read the most recent one. Brandon Mitchell for $2 says Maze Pin certified garbage.
Yes,
that's not the most. That's actually not the most recent one. That's just the one that I scrolled up to.
Oh.
All right. So we got that one just read. Appreciate that. Tyler Tinsley, $4.99. Hamlin, moving the most popular driver that is trying to get his first win at Martinsville, is greater than moving a hated driver to win the first dirt race in 50 years. Well,
I can't justify it either.
All right, GN for another $5. I don't use streaming because companies can censor whatever they want. See SpongeBob episode, fair point. Physical media you already own can't be censored.
I'll just buy all my NASCAR races on DVD.
DVD.
Funny, I remember
it's time for the race to start.
Have them all on tape.
That makes me
fast forward through
the
commercial.
makes me think of something as a wrestling fan. For whatever reason, like you could before they got rid of WWE Network, before they did that, you could pay $10 a month to watch any kind of pay-per-view you want there. And yet you go to Walmart and they still sell DVDs at the pay-per-views for some reason.
I know,
I
dude.
Still buy them.
Wow.
I still buy DVDs.
You still buy DVDs? I haven't bought a DVD in years.
Because what happens when the internet goes out?
Oh.
I just don't watch the movie.
I just don't watch it.
I do. I can watch Star Wars and Jurassic Park whenever the hell I want.
I've got all 3 seasons of Gilligan's Island on DVD. I'm set.
I actually have an old laptop with a DVD player on it specifically for that problem.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I download all my movies before they take off the internet.
When the power goes out, I have a movie to watch.
Hey, I use Laserdisc.
I use a floppy disk.
Even Blu-ray is starting to seem old at this point.
Yeah,
I've been watching movies on an 8-track player.
I've been watching my movies on a floppy disk for years.
All right. We talked about Smoke Garbage $100 donation. Again, appreciate that. Hope to see you in Nashville this summer. Brandon Mitchell, nothing said, just $1. Appreciate that. JC 1424, what's up, man? Jarrett's Greta Van Fleet shirt with the big eye emojis.
Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, Greta. Totally not ripping off Zeppelin.
Steven Gibson, again, at $5. You've been very generous tonight, man. Trucks can maybe do Mansfield Speedway again, and it is a dirt track now. So
yeah. Mansfield's a dirt track now?
Yeah, they converted it.
Nice, they could do that. Yeah, they can go back there.
Andrew Meyer, appreciate the $5. Daniel Suarez having no idea what he's doing on dirt and leading most laps he's ever led in a cup race. His peak 21 chaotic energy.
That's perfect.
I wanted him to win so bad.
I know. Mm.
Brandon Mitchell of $2. Oh, you already said that one. The Mazepin.
Mazepin's terrible.
Terrible.
Burnout Network of $5. Appreciate that. What Xfinity or Truck race are you looking forward to the most in 2021? Love the Mid-Ohio standalone race. Wish we had more.
What am I looking forward to? The Knoxville one now. Knoxville now.
I'm probably going to go to that one.
Yeah, Knoxville I'm looking forward to.
And then just all the races at Nashville. So.
Yeah, all 3 series are at Nashville, right? And then all 3 are at COTA as well. So that was a wild weekend.
We'll be there in COTA covering.
I'm excited.
Carter Hansen coming to $5. Appreciate that. I'm in Utah where NASCAR is not popular. My friends aren't fans of NASCAR. I watch NASCAR YouTube to fill the void. Thanks for providing entertainment. Well, we're happy to do that for you, Carter. Yeah,
appreciate it.
I think we talked about this last week. States like I feel like states like Louisiana and Utah, those are markets that aren't really looked at.
So Utah is like, there is a motorsports market there, especially in Salt Lake. There's some short tracks out there in the area. But one of them shut down recently, I think, like a couple of years ago. I don't know. I haven't been out there in years, so it's been a minute. But there's a market though. What's so funny?
I'm laughing at a comment. It's funny. It's Barry Boy Blast has his picks for Easter weekend. His suck pick is Peeps Candy. Easter Bunny's his underdog, and he says Jesus Christ will win.
He will rise on the third day.
Rise again.
He's gonna win.
Hey, what's wrong with Peeps? What's wrong with Peeps?
I love it out too. Win.
You know what Peeps lead to?
What?
Diabetes.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna say poops or something.
You know what? I gotta say this. I do not like Peeps on their own, but I've never had Peeps as like a s'more, so I wonder if that would be any good.
Yeah, I think with s'mores that'd be pretty good. Though.
What company is it? Pepsi just revealed a Peeps flavored soda.
Oh.
Okay, now you're going too far.
Yeah,
I hate Peeps now.
Carnation, get your boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
get your boy Carnation.
What is wrong with you?
I guess they was like,
Peeps.
this is the same people who tried to make Pilk.
It's real.
Who tried to make Pilk a thing, and so they got this instead.
Wait,
It comes in a pink and or yellow or blue can. It's a weird.
Wait, Jared.
Oh my
Jared,
God.
did you just ask what Pilk was?
yeah.
That is,
What's that?
That's Pepsi and milk combined.
Oh, who the hell wanted that? Who asked for this? Who the hell asked for this?
Carnation. This is
Carnation.
why Coca-Cola is better.
God damn it, Carnation.
Well, we got a couple more super chats, and then we will go on to the last few things. Groovy Goose comes in at $1.99. Was I on ESPN before Eric? They spin the UFO.
Another UFO
This-
question.
Well done, Groovy Goose.
This
You
is
win
the
this round.
This is the most that's been asked to be spun, I think, all season. So there you go.
Since Blaney.
Yeah.
Stephen Gibson, $5. Appreciate that. Quinn House should have pole at Martinsville since he did start first for his heat race. LOL.
Why not?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just give it to him.
Tyler Tinsley with $4.99 to add to the lightning round. We're gonna lose. Also hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, he did.
That's right.
The greatest troll in NASCAR. He's been trolling for over a decade and will finally be validated with that famous silver play button. Congratulations, we're gonna lose. Yes.
Legend of life.
Legends of life. Legends of life. Oh, what happened? I hit you down the pits, or that guy pitted. What? That guy pitted.
Okay.
What the heck?
Claudia just sent me a screenshot about the Pepsi and Peeps thing. It will only be available to sweepstakes winners of some kind.
Who the hell wants that?
A couple of weirdos. Probably.
Claudia just said, low key, I'd be interested in trying this. It's so weird.
No, Claudia, no! Get out of it.
So if she can find it, I guess we'll be trying it. But,
No. Oh, God.
Peeps rowdy energy.
Hey, speaking of rowdy energy, that's what I got tonight. So they just started selling these in Publix. I think that is the first, that's the biggest retailer I think Rowdy has gotten so far. So that is
not bad.
That's more
They say they're at HEBs. I haven't seen them at any HEBs yet, but I've kept my eyes open.
And then one last $3 from Brandon Mitchell. Appreciate that. Anybody watching the Freedom 500 on Friday?
Freedom.
I'm going to be on the road.
Freedom.
Wait, the what 500?
Freedom.
I'm not familiar with the Freedom 500.
The Freedom 500. Wait, why does that sound familiar? That sounds so familiar. I don't know why. Is it a race? It's a race? I don't know.
That's it for the super chats right there. We appreciate everyone's support.
Oh, it's whatever the Cletus McFarland thing is doing.
Oh,
whatever he's doing.
I don't really get notified of anything from Cletus McFarland anymore, so I don't see it that often.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
I feel like we're back in a 2018 episode. It feels like
it's a bye week. It's a bye week, so we can kind of.
He has a YouTube video from a month ago. We organized the ultimate pro driver drifter YouTuber race, like /drifter/YouTuber race, the 2021 Freedom 500. Why were none of us invited?
Yeah, we didn't know this. We didn't know about any of this. Yeah,
it's okay. We didn't know he existed, so I guess it's okay that he didn't know we existed.
Yeah.
But there is one more Tyler's NASCAR review for $2.99. Appreciate that. Kyle Larson's kid, Owen Larson, came in second last night in one of his races. So that's cool to hear.
It's cool.
I think
Freedom.
I think he's racing. I think Owen Larson's probably racing the same division like Cash Boyer and Brexton Bushar.
Yeah, they're all on the come up. They're only like 8 though, so it's gonna be a while.
Wait, is Alex Bowman in the Freedom 500?
I guess
that's what one person in the chat is saying.
Well, I guess I gotta watch it then.
Yep, Danny B. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that'll do it for the Super Chats. Again, we are supported by viewers like you, so we greatly appreciate all of your donations each week.
We're like the show Arthur.
Yep.
Thank you.
From viewers like you.
So that brings into another thing. We have our podcast, but Dirty Mo Media has another great podcast, Dale Jr. Download. Jared, what happened this week?
Marcus Smith of SMI came on there. We talked a bit about it earlier, about what he said about North Wilkesboro. I got to admit, I like Marcus Smith. Dude is very innovative, likes to take chances, and he's been pretty good so far with it. There are 3 other things that we could talk about really quick right here. We can skim over at least one of them here. Sonoma being raced in the spring is on the table. That's all they said.
That should have happened years ago, though. The spring Sonoma date, that should have happened years ago with how amazing and beautiful that track looks in the spring. Oh,
it's aesthetically
all green. Yeah.
And it makes sense, too. The spring is usually a rainy month for most states. California, especially out where Sonoma is, doesn't get much rain regardless of the time of year. So it might make sense to fill a March date with a Sonoma race.
The big one that a lot of people were going overboard about, I wouldn't say overboard, but freaking out about, root for Bristol in the next 5 years, possibly.
I feel like Marcus Smith is just memeing. He's like, oh, we might bring North Wilkesboro back.
We might bring it back.
We might put a roof on Bristol.
Yeah.
Well, I won't throw it out the window. Because if there's anything I've learned from just watching sports in general with stadiums is do not underestimate modern engineering. Like if they really do want it, they will find a way. Because everyone's like, they're gonna die from from the fumes and they're gonna go deaf.
Carbon monoxide poisoning, all that stuff.
Honestly, the way I was thinking about it, it would suck for those in the infield. Just build a dome that kind of goes over it, and then have like an opening kind of doors that slide in, open, and then the water just goes into the infield, but not on the track. I don't know.
There's a waterfall going like through the
basically.
Bro, that looks so cool.
I mean,
I don't think that would be amazing. Imagine it's just like an opening that only hits like the people in the garage area.
It would either look amazing or it would look like the Falcons Stadium, which would be bad.
I think it'll be amazing.
It would look amazing.
Just realized I kept myself muted after the last sneeze, so.
Without the mic.
Force to have it.
But
that's a record breaking of. Go ahead.
I don't think. I mean, like Danny Dover says, keep sides open. So there's ventilation. You could do that. I mean, there's plenty of ways they could. You could pump the air out and pump fresh air in. I don't know.
Expensive.
It's expensive, but now I saw somebody I think on Reddit put, now watch Bristol, Tennessee turns into a desert and it won't rain for 20 years because that's how life is.
Honestly,
just all of a sudden,
I could see it. So.
Well, no, because from 1997 to 2013, there wasn't a single weather delay outside of the snowball fiasco in 2006 there in the Busch race, I think. So there was a long period where like the race wasn't delayed. So watch it just happen again out of nowhere because of life.
I don't know, the way the Bristol climate has changed in the last 20 years. It's looking more and more like this might become a fixture if they're going to keep it in March. Yeah. You got to think of ways to combat it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a shot. I'm not going to play it off the way that a lot of people are, because I think that if they really did want to do it, it's possible. Anything is possible.
If there's a way, there's a way.
If NASCAR has proven anything to us in the last 3 years, is that they will prove you wrong every chance they can.
Is there any kind of weird way to set up? It starts on the outside wall, and you unroll it, and it clips onto the inner wall. Could you somehow do a tarp system from the outer wall to the inner wall? I don't know.
just have a crew like you have for baseball stadiums, the tarp crew.
Oh. To come up with a better name than Tarp Crew.
Yeah, Tarp Crew. The Tarp Crew. Pull out the Tarp Crew.
The Gladiator Crew for the last great Coliseum.
There you go.
Yep.
It's a lot better.
And then the other one that Marcus Smith talked about is that Nashville is very promising for NASCAR, and that they would want to bring structure to the track, because at the point now is that, hey, you call up the track and more than likely you can get the track to yourself, and it would actually probably have less loud days for the dumbasses who move next to a racetrack expecting serene silence.
No, the track making too much noise. I moved here. I moved my family to a nice area, and the only thing that sucks is there's a track. Like that just sounds so stupid to me.
We got a dumbass here.
Man, we got an idiot. Yeah. Or multiple idiots, because it's multiple people saying this.
But you're saying right now, like, just individuals are renting out Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for just like random days and stuff.
Because it's owned by the Fair Board.
Well, how much does it cost to rent out the fairgrounds? Let's put our own Freedom 500 on and compete with Cletus.
Let's give it a shot. I don't know. Let's find out.
We can race big wheels.
I swear, if we don't get racing at the fairgrounds because of a bunch of frickin' Karens, I'm gonna lose it.
Karens, yeah.
We should call it Karen Speedway in honor of them.
And Karens are the worst of the worst.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I mean, they sounded very.
Well, I mean, I'm hopeful. Positive. I'm hopeful. I mean, you're saying like the track. I mean, like it's being rented out daily and stuff. I mean, that's good for business. Not
daily, but often.
Not daily. Okay, well, yeah, often. I mean, that's good for business, and I mean, it seems like it's getting the right backing at the right time. I know back in 2019, it was like very touch and go. Oh, it's happening. Yeah, like it's happening. It's not happening anymore. But no, now things are moving back in the right direction. Hopefully, we have some sort of racing. Hopefully, we have some sort of NASCAR racing there by. I don't know, maybe in a few years, start off with the trucks and a whole new contract, that's
send him an email being like, hey, NASCAR Weekly Podcast wants to rent your track and see what happens. I found the email.
We'll host the podcast. We'll host the podcast from there, and we'll sit at the start finish line.
Like just a barren racetrack. It's just four He's sitting on the start finish line, squatting there.
Yeah. Squatting. We'd have chairs.
We have the camera on the ground facing up. We're squatting in front of it like a 90s rap album.
Who are we going to like chain to the flag stand or something so that like, you can never tear this place down?
Danny. We'll tear Danny down. That's our tree guy. That's our designated tree guy. Danny is.
We'll hire an intern to help us set up the podcast, and then we won't tell them that they're going to be.
Do we make enough to have interns? We make it. Oh wait, is it a paid internship though?
We get some like 16-year-old from up the street. Like he'll just do it for like $20.
Like get a desperate college student.
We will give you great exposure.
Yeah,
we can't. Exposure doesn't pay the bill.
I think we jumped the shark.
And all joking, we're basically our own interns for this. So
all right.
I think that covers it.
There's a couple more super chats came in. I do want to say this on the subject of Nashville and racing. So last week was obviously a kind of a scary situation. Didn't know about how the Nashville Super Speedway was. From all accounts that I saw after that, it does appear a EF0 tornado, which is like as weak as a tornado can be, did go through the Gladeville, Tennessee area on a path that would have put it in a direction of Nashville Super Speedway. However, nothing has ever been confirmed or denied from people with Nashville Super Speedway, so it's safe to say that if there was any kind of tornado damage, it was never enough to make it a big story or anything. So we're hoping everything is still A-okay over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Preston Fields, appreciate the $4.99.
Propane.
Yes. Preston Fields, appreciate the $4.99. If Byron was to get another win or two, would he become a dark horse for the championship with how consistent he has been so far this year? I guess anyone could be a dark horse at this point.
Yeah, at this point, 7 different winners in 7 races. I mean, sure, some are more consistent than others, but
I mean, at this point, we've only 7 winners. If he gets another win, he's a great favorite right there. So
yeah, basically, like the first person to have multiple wins in the season would automatically be the championship favorite. I think, in my opinion. So we have to wait and see on that.
And then we have Conformation 07. Appreciate that. $20, and they simply say #bring back Montreal, and that's a pretty
I think so.
cool track to kind of mess it, but at this point can't really even travel to Canada for racing. So
hopefully,
one day
bring back in the future. Yeah, someday.
I do think that by the time the Canadian tire race comes, I think things might be controlled. At least do that. That might even be a race without fans. I don't know, but it might still happen.
We'll see.
But yeah, that'll do it. So do you want to go ahead and say you can watch us next week, Wednesday night, same NASCAR time, same NASCAR Weekly Podcast channels, but it'll be on
my
channel.
Yes, it'll be on Black Flags Matter. The guests, we keep saying, yeah, we might have a guest. No, we don't know.
We went 3 weeks in a row without a guest, and it's been pretty fun. I'll be real.
Yeah, guests weigh us down. Gosh,
they weigh their picks down.
Jared,
don't worry, we're just getting started here, folks. We'll have some guests on very soon.
I like how Jarrett earlier you were thinking that we'd be lucky to even get an hour and a half out of this. We've actually gone 10 minutes over.
I know, that's crazy.
But yeah, I again, 2021 always proves me wrong.
Yeah.
Have a great off weekend, everybody. Have a great holiday.
Yeah, have a great
it slaps in the chat. He heard that. That's great, man. I guess. Should I do my thing?
Yeah, do your thing.
Got my Greta shirt. Got it. All right.
The Kong titty slap.
I know. This is
I wasn't going there with that, but okay.
It made such a slappy sound. Right into the mic.
For slap shoes.
For slap.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
All right.
Or as you can pronounce it, for slapsos.
Slap.
Ready.
All right.
Aim,
Guys,
fire.
Thanks a lot for watching on Danny B Talks this week. This has been a NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Thank you so much for watching us. You can catch us again next week. Jarrett, send us out of here with some Dale call. I didn't hear anything at all.
Yeah, that was a silent fart.